Welcome back, everybody. It's Iesf again with you with the Asian qualifiers. I am joined by Black and, ready to go as usual. Looking pretty dapper, Black. What's the occasion?
It might be, I think it is actually my last Asia cast with you, so I wanted to make sure it's a memorable one for you. So you have some eye candy to look at, before I depart.
Yeah, I do enjoy, we've been close for a while. It's always nice to see you, and it's going to be sad not seeing you again.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon, and then when we do, the other parts of the world.
Also, I think we are working together tomorrow.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, the middle BO one.
Oh, well.
So
in that case, I'm an idiot and I shouldn't have done this. But either way, I like
hey, it's benefits for me. I'm happy with it. I'm happy to see it, so it's fine. I'm working with it, and let's take a look at today's schedule as we are moving regionals for today.
Moving directions.
Moving directions. We're moving west because we are in the West Asia qualifiers. You're taking a look at the schedule. We've got ourselves Iran and Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon and Qatar.
Qatar, correct, yep.
Sorry, I saw LIB and I was like, okay. And it's Lebanon.
It's interesting that that's the abbreviation for Lebanon.
Yes. Yeah, that's what got me off the back. So
I wonder what that is actually.
I'm not entirely sure, but some of them, the Iran one got me as well because that's IRI. I thought it was gonna be IRA, but let's take a look at the match we're currently covering. It's gonna be Iran against Jordan, two teams that again I think full roster wise would be insane.
Yeah,
Jordan especially. I mean, you've got. We've talked about this a couple times because we've done ISF and a couple of global events, GEG as well together. But there's always the shot that Miracle just shows up, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, even in the substitute roster, though, we have ATF, we have Mage.
Really?
Can you imagine? Yeah, imagine we have ATF, Mage, and Miracle just all in one team suddenly.
That sounds like a banger of a lineup, that's for sure. So let's take a look at Iran's roster. Hazy, Zeski, Anu, Me, A9, and Malad. Close to Milan, but it looks like it's just their first name. Malad, and then I don't want to botch the last name, but then his last name.
Sounds pretty badass, though.
If your first name is good enough to be your in-game name like that, I think it's a pretty cool name to have.
Yeah,
there are some interesting names we've had in the past for Dota. I know we've had like Frank, Bob, like just first names that
I think
shown
yours
up in the past.
Good. Like Ben.
Just Ben?
Yeah, I think that would be good. And for me, it would be kind of weird. Like Dom.
I mean, Dom's a cool one. I'm always
ready but with everybody would instantly say you're a Fast and Furious fanboy. I don't want that.
Well, we'll ride again, and let's take a look at the side of the Jordanian team here. Taz, Nagato, Valerian, Paris, and Ela. And we've seen Ela a lot.
We've seen Ela a lot. We've spoken to Ela a lot.
Huh?
He's once again ready to hopefully qualify. As I said, it's a little bit of a shame that we don't have Jordan's full power here, that we don't have Iran's full power here, because Iran, you could basically just field the entire Winter Bears lineup, and they would be probably crushing it. Like, even in their own region, they usually have one up against Enigma, just barely lose out to Falcons every now and then. But yeah, that would have been super epic. Still, I see no team so far that can beat China. China is unbeatable.
Well, we don't know their roster yet.
Yeah, if they go crazy.
But
which I hope they do. Please go crazy.
I do too, but there's also so much depth in that roster that can make it like competitive either way, right? You start to get down the line and you see guys who maybe aren't so much as popular and top tier, and I think there would still be so many so many players available for China. But we've talked about them enough, and we're kind of getting into the draft. Did you guys see anything different earlier today than what we've been seeing, or is it still just the same drafts?
So what happened was pretty funny. Nepal won 2-0 in the first match. And in the interview, I was like, so I think Beastmaster is pretty broken. We spoke to Execration yesterday. They said Beastmaster pretty broken. What do you think? He was like, yeah, Beastmaster pretty broken. Then next series, they first pick Beastmaster. The guy is like 900 XPM, 900 GPM, goes like 15-0. And match after that, instantly first ban. It's like, as though, like, I don't know, I might feel a little bit guilty about this, but I'm making Beastmaster become first pick material in this qualifier. I'm just going to ask every team that wins, what do you think about Beastmaster? This guy says it's broken. I think it's broken. This team says it's broken. What do you think? And now it's first pick ban. Or first ban as well. Good. Get that out of here. I don't want to see that.
Definitely agree. But, I talked to Seneko yesterday, and he was very relaxed, and he was just like, they did what you suggested, which was pick the Medusa in a Beastmaster, and they shut down the Beastmaster completely.
Yeah, Medusa is such a good hero against Beastmaster. Like, Medusa against melee heroes in general is just so free.
Right.
The new Medusa is so strong. I can't harp on it enough. I don't think we see this hero enough at all. It's so good. Literally, you're looking for strong lanes, you're looking for a range carry, you're looking for a guy that can push, you're looking for an objective taker. Medusa does it all. Especially with this new talent, she gets an insane amount of damage. Like, how often have you seen in late game, the Mystic Snake gives you like 1,000+ mana? That's like 150 damage you get for free on a Medusa. Hello? Stop sleeping on a hero. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. And Beastmaster does get banned, by the way, and we see Phoenix and Weaver. Phoenix has felt, I want to say, not as strong as I think this hero is, but we haven't exactly seen it in its best performance. I know that this hero is strong, but we just have not seen it perform the way I think this hero is strong. Unless, I was watching Lizard play at mid, and he was doing a mid Phoenix build with Dagon and a couple other things, which was pretty interesting.
Did you lose?
No, I think they won, but I don't know if it was because of him.
They probably got carried.
I can't remember.
Dude, if anybody does this kind of stuff against me, I'm going extra try hard just so they never do it again. No.
What, say, I don't know, a Kato mid and make them go extra try hard in a match like that?
Hey, I did not want that hero at all.
That's very true.
Who even picked that? Was it Danak?
Well, we had picked it for support initially,
yeah,
and
but
then they
who
got
picked
rid
it?
of...
It was Danak, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
and then we gave him Wyvern.
And then he gave me that Cuddle mid hero, and the enemy team just flamed the crap out of me. Like, I didn't want it. What do you want me to do?
Hey, we won. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
We beat a 2-time TI champ.
Yeah.
And I'll take that to my grave.
That makes us a 2-time TI champ in theory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we took the pink slips. It's like Fast and Furious. Just going back to what you said earlier about being a Fast and Furious fan. You take the pink slips, you get the car.
That's right. That's
we win the match, we get both Aegises.
That's how it works.
So DK, not my favorite hero, but it's less boring than it was in the past, right? Like when we used to see this hero last picked in China every match, it was a boring hero. Now I feel like there's been an evolution to DK where I'm not as disappointed to see it.
You actually have some more aggressive early game options now. That the Wyvern Breath basically is one of your skills rather than tied to the ultimate. So your lane capability went up quite a bit. Yeah, I think DK is definitely one of the best heroes now that facets are in the game and innate abilities. Because he basically just got one for free. Which I feel any hero that got a super good innate ability for free just benefits so much from this patch. Which again, half of the lineup didn't. Half of the lineup did. You can't balance that. It's impossible to balance. I keep harping on that as well. Stop putting in new things. There's too many things.
There is a lot of things. Was it you or Vlad I was talking to about the fact that I think more and more infrequent because there's so many things that you need to cover these days that, like, yes, balance patches will happen, but at the same time, you've got full patches that will end up being talents and innates and these facets and items and just everything in general that used to be patched. Like, there's just so many things that you need to kind of patch these days.
Yeah, that's what I really dislike, because back then it was a lot simpler to just make changes. Like, the map changed a lot more, the Dota economy changed a lot more, general mechanics changed a lot more. And as you said, now we don't really have that possibility anymore, because you gotta address facets. Some heroes have like 4 of them. I think Chen even has 6. You have innate abilities that need to be balanced. You have neutral items that need to be balanced, cycled in and out. Abilities. Where does it ever stop, you know?
I would go as far as to say that the balance patches are almost impossible. And there are so many facets right now that it feels like for heroes, there's one good facet, one bad facet. And you know what that means is they're going to go one of 2 ways. You either nerf the good facet to make the bad facet more appealing, or you're going to buff these bad facets in such a fashion that they become more appealing that they might even become broken.
Yeah, but at the same time, the problem is if you buff a bad facet, you just completely buff a hero as well, potentially. And if you nerf a good one, you completely nerf the hero, right? So even if you don't change any numbers on the hero itself, like skills or attributes, anything like that, the hero might still be like way worse than it was before. That's why I keep saying, if you keep adding these layers of balance on balance upon balance, like, you just cannot ever get to a state where a hero just feels good, you know? Right now, I feel like there's certain heroes that just feel too good, and certain heroes that just feel too bad. There's no like middle ground anymore.
Radiant team back.
Ooh,
Alchemist. We've seen a support Alchemist before today as well. This looks more like it could be carry Weaver. I mean, Alchemist, Venge, Weaver, Pango. That's a lot of minus armor. Minus 8, minus 18. Beetles, minus 25 armor. Easy peasy rolls.
Yeah. Is everybody giving you minus armor right now?
Everybody.
Wow. That's kind of insane. Truth be told.
Yeah. It's going to be quick objectives. Even heroes like Dragon Knight will just completely melt. No chance for him to survive through that kind of minus armor. But Alchemist is an interesting pick. But if it's a support Alchemist, I think it's quite strong, to be honest. The stun is just bonkers. Weaver Alchemist is a super strong lane. Could be Venge off lane or Venge 4. I like the draft, to be honest. It's a little bit unconventional, but it's good. Synergize as well.
It's got a good amount of lockdown right now. I wouldn't mind one more stun, though, from Iran.
Yeah, Jordan's team fight is damn scary. I don't actually know how to fight him right now with Phoenix Brewmaster.
Yeah, you get Cyclone, Supernova, and then you're stealing, honestly. This is a dream game right now for Rubik, because Rubik, from what I understand, and this is from my lower MMR brain, but Rubik's a good counter to Weaver. Not so much that he himself counters Weaver, but you steal Shikuchi and you end up becoming a menace overall.
Yeah, you push out lanes, you deal a ton of damage in team fights. Very hard to catch you ever with a 2-second cooldown. But I think doesn't Rubik also have, I need to double confirm that real quick, the cooldown?
The facet?
He has a talent that gives, minus 25% stone spells
25%,
cooldown.
Yep.
So his downtime of
15,
Tsukushi
right?
is 0.5 seconds. Which is ridiculous. Yeah. He's perma-hasted and invis, basically, at that point. It's level 15, yeah, right.
Yep. And giving up that to Rubik, and then it almost feels like a game where Phoenix will be 5 and then Rubik will be 4, and you might want Rubik to get an Ags in this game so he can always hold Shikuchi +1.
That's definitely a fair point.
So
there's also just so many good spells to steal, whether it's Acid Spray or Alchemist Stun, Venge Stun. Even Wave of Terror is so good at stealing damage. Ton of good spells.
Yeah, there's a lot of short cooldown spells as well that will interact with his facet there too.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
My Rubik's facets are both pretty damn good.
Radiant team
But would you say that Rubik's more set for a 4 than a 5?
Yeah, I think in general, Rubik really wants items. Like, a fat Rubik is just so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
I feel like. The cast range is insane. Damage is insane. Storm Spirit is also insane. Which means you have an
Storm's felt
tank
very
10
strong.
seconds remaining.
Now, I wonder, is it support Weaver or support Alec? I think it's support Alec, right?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure.
Could be a 4 Weaver.
The Weaver for support's not bad, especially if you don't want to be giving... Well, you're still going to give up Shikuchi to Rubik. It feels like it's almost inevitable.
Either way, you're going to do it, yeah. Now, they need some sort of lockdown. So they have off Brew, probably DK mid, the carry. Oh, that's a tough choice. I feel like Medusa, though, looks pretty damn good again.
Yeah.
And the Lifestealer ban actually makes me think it's an Alchemist carry. Because otherwise, you wouldn't care much about Lifestealer.
So what's the deal? Oh, I was going to ask you a question, but they go... Are they going safe lane Void Spirit?
I think it's safe lane Dragon Knight, probably. But that's... I mean, carry DK has worked out in the past. It's not bad at all.
It's safe lane Void Spirit according to their roster lineup. But we've seen switches in the past.
Well, I certainly hope not, because DK against Storm is so free for Storm. And I would never want to give Storm a free game.
It's free for Storm, but it's also you don't die as DK, right?
Yeah. Either way, even if they put Void Spirit middle, it's free for Storm as well. So interesting. I really like the Storm pick, and I'm a little bit scared for Jordan whether they have enough to deal with that. They have Dragon Knight and Rubik. That's pretty much it. Maybe Void Spirit will build into an Orchid or an Axe, but Storm Spirit doesn't really care about that anymore.
My question was going to be, I was thinking maybe even wanting Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage doesn't seem to be picked too much these days, because Anti-Mage was also one of those instant counter picks to Storm back in the past, right? You'd use all your mana and... it just doesn't get picked. Yeah, I haven't seen it picked as often as when I saw you win ESL in New York, and I'll bring that up every time we work together.
Yeah, it's because we literally first picked TB or AM every game until they both got banned.
Yeah,
that was like the wildest thing. Like, nobody like did that ever. We're just like, yeah, okay, give me first pick AM. All right.
It's definitely one of those crazy moments that, like, we started working with each other 5 years after that.
Yeah,
because that was 2014, wasn't it? It was ESL 1, so 6 years after that, really.
Yeah, 2020. I mean, around there. Yeah.
It was before I even started casting. I mean, that was the event that made me want to cast. So it's interesting. I'd love to go back in time with like current brain and be like, oh, Black, like, what's up? Like, I didn't even get to speak to you. I just, I saw you guys outside MSG when you guys had won, holding that big trophy, and
yeah,
I wonder how quick of friends we would have been, because we became friends very quickly after we started working together.
Yeah, I mean, both of us, I think, are very approachable. So it makes sense, You're a cool guy. I'm a cool guy. Wow, the guy's so cocky, calls himself a cool guy. Well, that's what cool guys do.
Is there an explosion nearby I have to not look at? Like,
well, we can make that happen. Don't worry.
I'm always down.
The observer kiss. Well, not quite. It's more like a kiss cam right now.
Let's see how this goes. We haven't seen much for the quote Asia region, but also it was SEA region. There hasn't been a lot of pre-fighting.
No pre-fighting. I feel a lot of teams just...
30 seconds.
Okay, here's my thought process. If I'm the better team, I want to make the game as standard and as simple as possible. No level 1 weird shenanigans, nothing. Go into the laning phase with 100% of resources ready. Because I think I'm going to beat you. Right? And of course, sometimes the level 1 is just not as strong as the other teams, in which case you also want to avoid it. We have no region on the DK or the Brewmaster. Interesting. Maybe that's another reason why they wanted to avoid it.
Oh, Taz. He's going down for
that's why you avoid it, man. That's exactly why.
And it's also setting up for Taz to be swapping lanes, right? Where he was standing.
Yeah, but he already had a bottle queued up, so I think he's pretty much guaranteed that we have the safe and DK.
Yeah, because DK's bringing out tangos on his courier.
Yeah.
And coming up here. So they did make that swap despite what the roster sheet says, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm still dumbfounded that Storm Spirit, his only weakness in lane was that the Remnant is melee range, right? And then they just give him a facet that the thing just moves towards the enemy. At a pretty decent speed, too.
Well, I think it's a decent speed, but it's also a slow speed, but you couldn't make it any slower. So, in my eyes, it seems as though this facet is kind of overtuned and maybe a little bit broken, in my opinion.
I think it's too good. Like, the only weakness Storm had in laning phase is not a weakness anymore. In fact, it's now a strength because it just walks through creeps.
Also, Galvanize seems kind of ridiculous to me, too, that they've just given him the old Bloodstone for free.
The fact that he even gets charges before he gets ult is also ridiculous. I think it should be tied to the ult, at least.
Yeah.
Now he's just randomly sitting plus 0.3 mana, which in early game is so much.
And you get 3 charges just for leveling Ball Lightning. It should be at Ball Lightning you get whatever charges you would have got. It could be retroactive. I'm fine with that. But you shouldn't unlock the charges until 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
That's an interesting one.
Well, top lane should just be a trade farm lane. That's the problem with safe lane DK. You don't really pressure too much.
Bottom lane, Hazy's in trouble. They've got the Unstable Concoction charged up after the Magic Missile with the minus armor. There's no way to survive for the Brewmaster after.
That lane is so strong, actually. Venge Alchemist. So much damage.
The double stun and the minus armor.
Yep.
And you're already level 2 in the acid spray, so minus 4 armor. And with some decent damage, too. You can't really fight in it. It's a big AoE. And speaking about not being able to fight, this Weaver will drop as Phoenix gets that kill in the Gato.
Yeah, he's burned out.
Don't be angry.
Well, it's burning out, and it's also, I think, Dying Light's at one of the stronger facets as well.
Dying Light is also ridiculous, yeah.
It's a free mini Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprising to me that a facet like that maybe hasn't brought back the old Phoenix Radiance offlane build.
It still might at some point, to be honest. Oh, there it is. There's no mana for stun right now, or rather, it's on cooldown. The acid spray is dealing so much damage.
The acid spray is strong. They just need another stun, and then they get this kill, and they're going to chase for it. It's an easy kill to get again, and it's aggression that I don't know can be stopped, so you're going to have to really play safe. There is a point where Brewmaster feels strong enough, I would say, with Drunken Brawler at a certain level where he's able to have those resistances. But the Rubik's going to be vulnerable, right?
Oh, yeah. If Rubik ever gets caught,
so much damage.
He's so dead. That's just the thing, though. He literally just triple remnanted him because he keeps walking into his face.
Oh, and more aggression. They want to go. Cinderbrew activated bottom. Now, my question too is Bracer too overtuned, or is it just too good of an item? Because Null Talisman went through this, right? Everybody was getting Null Talismans, and then they stopped Null Talismans.
Radiant structures are
I think it's too strong, for sure.
Now Bracers are built in multitude with offlaners quite a bit.
And the problem is not just offlaners, even supports, mid laners, carries, everybody's doing Bracers. Oh, Milad, easy kill. As we're talking about Bracers, double Bracer on him. No
it
Bracer
really
on the DK,
insane.
surprisingly. A Bracer on the Void Spirit. Everybody builds Bracers. Double Bracer on Brew.
has been killed.
Centaur usually goes triple Bracer.
Yeah, Darkbeard, now they also goes like double Bracer Soul Ring or whatever. It's definitely too good. Because it lies to you too. So the item says it gives you 0.75 health regen, right? But that's a big lie. But you get another 0.5 from the strength it gives. Rubik in trouble again. Oh, it doesn't want to get lifted up the cliff.
Ooh, Cinder Brew activating, and Hazy, he might try to get this trade, but it looks like he's at least dead. Paris on the runaway from this Alchemist, runs back into him. Telekinesis only up into the air and will die. Now, Telekinesis early levels is not that great. Now, they kill the Storm mid, which is a pretty big kill, but they're looking like they're still going to lose Taz, but able to survive the Blood Grenade and the Swarm being on him. So no trade is pretty massive. And then Rubik just TPs mid, refills the bottle, and you're right back in it.
Ice rotation, much needed too, because Taz was getting smacked quite hard in the mid lane.
Yeah, the kill doesn't really change too much for Storm, I would say. He's still ahead. It just helps Taz kind of recover.
Yeah, and he might have to go to... Oh, Zesty just burns out again. And the Phoenix is doing lots of damage here on the map.
Yeah, and I like this build, but he's going to be giving up a kill now to a new me. He's got nothing to get away from this. And at the same time, Alchemist gets a kill onto the Brewmaster bottom, so Ela dies, Nagato dies, and that's 2 heroes dead. And Phoenix, we've seen this build quite a bit, where you just go early into Urn, and maybe you get Spirit Vessel too. But Sunray is just not the important spell anymore early.
Yeah, it used to be maxed at level 7 just because of the ridiculous damage it dealt when it was pure. Now that it's magic, it's still very strong, but yeah, not nearly as important. Stun on Pango, but he doesn't care at all.
And he's got Rolling Thunder if need be. You can see the damage that those Fire Spirits do.
But just look at his health, man. As a Pangolier, I've been a 70, I have 1300 HP. More than the DK. Because everyone's itemizing with these damn bracelets.
The Blinding Sun innate ability from Phoenix, too, is kind of crazy. It really is just like...
You can't trade with him.
Dying Light and Blinding Sun is just radiance in its own way.
You literally couldn't trade with him before because of Fire Spirits. Now you literally just can't trade with him. Because you have Mischance and everything.
They're going to go for this kill.
It could be a free one.
And now when they stopped Rolling Thunder thinking they didn't need it, and they don't.
Yep. Nice rotation from the bench.
Pretty great. I mean, you get to hold Rolling Thunder, meaning you might be able to go elsewhere with this. Now, I will say Jordan was the team that made it to the Asia Finals last time.
Yeah.
But for right now, Iran's looking strong.
They are. 100% prime position to be taking this
Power
game.
Ranger TPs, but they still have Rolling Thunder. Getting this kill is not going to be easy. They
he's
do
so
have a level
tanky, too.
6 Phoenix, though. Now, the question is, where do you look for Supernova? And it's not in this fight because you kill off Pango so quickly with the Telekinesis and the Astral Step.
During all this time, don't forget, though, there's an Alchemist free farming.
And he's going real Radiance.
Yeah, not fake.
He is top of the net worth by 900. That is Alchemist things. And he also took seed money as well. What's the other facet for Alchemist? I can't even remember at this point.
Me neither. I feel like everybody's taking this one. Let me check.
The other one is Mixologist, which is Unstable Concoction and Berserk Potion recharge faster when in Chemical Rage, which I kind of like if you're willing to not take the 250 gold. A9 in trouble. Charging up that Unstable Concoction, and he'll start to run away here on the side of Jordan. But looking into that again, it's reduced by 30% for the Unstable Concoction, and the Berserk Potion reduced by 50%.
Yeah.
Primal Split used. Paris is dead to a new me off screen. Going for this Supernova, and it pops. That is not what they wanted. There's not enough damage being done to this Alchemist anymore with the Chemical Rage. They could turn this onto the Brewmaster, who's going to be back to form. They have an extra stun with the Magic Missile. They throw out the Unstable Concoction, and both heroes die. That is a very aggressive move that ends up getting busted.
I think Jordan is in a lot of trouble. Remember, this is all BO1, not BO3s. These sort of plays, they get heavily punished. We also see in the replay, Storm getting still a little bit, yep. And then Venge transitions that nicely just into the TP bottom to punish the Brewmaster as well. They're just very active. They're completely outplaying Jordan right now.
Yeah, they are. And even with that kill on the Storm, Storm's getting to an Orchid pretty quickly. He's happy. Has 5 charges on that Galvanize. Of course, getting 3 from the Ball Lightning.
Yeah.
What's a good number on Galvanize? Like, what should you be hoping to have? Obviously, very high is great, but like, what's the average that you think that should be here for a Storm? Like 15 or 12?
I think level 18, you're probably looking at... You get 9 from Galvanize, right?
Yeah.
So I think 15 sounds just about right at 18. Honestly, having 5 at this time already feels really nice. 1.6 mana region is no joke.
Definitely not.
Oh, I'm looking for Isla and another charge there, perhaps.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah, he's so dead.
Ball Lightning, and they will get this kill with the Vortex. Self-stunning, but getting some farm with it. So here's my question.
Dire's bottom tower
So you,
is under attack.
every time you get a kill, and hold on, I'll hold that thought. Telekinesis slamming him down onto the Alchemist, but still the unstable concoction is there, now up to 7 on the Galvanized. He'll try to run away. He doesn't want to lose those charges, but he doesn't have a lot of mana. The Astral Step and the Resonant Pulse, they've got the Aether Remnant that stuns up this Alchemist. Another Astral Step, the swap, the shield, but still burning. Oh, the Cinder Brew. Can they get this? Oh, no spell with the roll, and they get the kill on the Brewmaster. They're still trying to kill off this Storm, is at 8. Has a little bit of mana for the Ball Lightning, and he is away from the fight. The turnaround is here. They're looking to get this kill, but they'll lose the Weaver, the Swashbuckle. No mana left for this Dragonite.
Triple.
And there's the triple stun coming out from the Unstable Concoction. Malad is here. They'll kill off the Phoenix. They'll look over the Dragonite, who picks up a haste, and that will make sure that he's able to run away. Beneath the Remnant locks down this Pango and Void Spirit. Taz runs away, but Malad, is he a mad one? Looking like he's looking for Taz, but won't commit under the tier 1 tower.
He's so incredibly tanky with that mage there, too. He can do whatever he wants right now.
Under attack.
So my question on Galvanized is the last, it says every time he gains a charge, he also gains 0.1 mana regen permanently.
Yeah.
So Storm Spirit gets a charge.
Yeah.
0.2 mana, but you're really getting 0.3 mana.
Yeah. That's right. And every time you die, you lose 0.6. Well, you
Yeah.
lose 3 charges. But if you had 10 charges, you go down to 0, you would still have 1 mana region.
Right.
Which is, you know, permanent in Dota in general is very strong.
Yeah, infinite stacking has always been kind of one of those things that's very strong.
And I feel like
there-
more and more heroes are just getting it, right? This infinite like stacking thing. It just feels good to have.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked Lion before, but now that you can infinitely stack fingers charges, like, doesn't it just feel great?
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, and it's been that way for a little while.
Imagine AA. Every time you kill somebody, the shatter
get a
goes up by 0.1% or something.
I was just thinking the same thing. Ooh.
He has a pretty decent shield right now. He has Swashbuckle of cooldown. If he gets out of range and Rolling Thunder's out of there, that's a big problem, man.
Yeah, he's absorbing 387 damage right now.
And he has a mage there too, don't forget.
So, I'm just trying to think out loud here. There's not really a point soon where Alchemist falls off.
Nope. Not at all. He's not going to BKB though. It's a bit risky. I see if Milak get out of here. Oh, actually the swap comes through.
Yeah, he still has Swashbuckle. He still has Rolling Thunder. He'll get stunned while in the Rolling Thunder, but there's the Ball Lightning with the Orchid. Paris is going to die. I believe that also gave a Galvanized stack to... No, it didn't. To a new me off to the side. It was just out of range. Malad is still alive. They'll kill off Hazy, but they'll lose Taz. No, he's able to survive with the Astral Step out. The Ball Lightning under the tier 1 tower. Numi gets that kill. He does not have mana. He has 7 charges on his wand.
Alchemist coming.
Ball Lightning away from Ela. But here comes the Alchemist with a double stun, the Swashbuckle, the Swarm, all onto these heroes. A double kill for A9, who's godlike. He's 9-0-4 on an Alchemist. That is dangerous.
Dude, that stun AoE is crazy big. And honestly, the fact that there's a talent that makes it 50% bigger and he didn't take that is a little mind baffling. 1 armor is nice, yes, but isn't the 125 AoE just crazy? 375? That's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's a talent we see most of the time as well.
Yeah, one acid spray armor reduction doesn't exactly with a lineup that is all armor reduction, I would have gone with the other one.
Yeah, so would I have. But we'll see what it does for him. Especially if you take the other facet. Dude.
Oh, the cooldown reduction. Because 250 gold, I understand it gets you off to the races to the Radiance quicker, as they're going to get another kill on this Phoenix, and now up to 14 charges on the Galvanized at only level 2 on that Ball Lightning.
It feels pretty damn good, yeah. Look at this region already, 15.1.
The 250 gold at the start gets you to that Radiance quicker, but you make that up pretty quickly. I like the reduction one.
Well, the thing is, one is an early game investment and the other is more like a mid-late game investment, right? So it really depends on not just your playstyle, but also what do you think the game state needs to be in at certain times.
Right.
But if you think you have more time, you wouldn't need that early gold buffer, right? Orchid on Alchemist. It's the Orchid reveal.
Yeah, with the stun. Oh god, the minus armor, the armor reduction, the right clicks. Well, you know what is there is that corrosive weaponry, and now this storm stunned up, supernova, telekinesis, swap shield again, saving the life of this storm. They can't take away any charges. Ooh, one fire spirit? No, that's not going to be enough. He's in the fountain. Magic missile, another unstable concoction. Fade bolt's not going to save the life of Nagato. A 13,000 net worth lead here for the side of Iran.
Yeah, our game is falling quickly out of the hands of Jordan, unfortunately. The safe in DK, like I spoke about it briefly in the draft, but it's not that impressive compared to mid DK. He also went for a
lot more time.
Yeah, he also went for the fire dragon rather than the what's it called, the poison dragon,
the corrosive one.
Yeah, exactly. So he can't even really push. And of course you would go for that one.
Oy.
But yeah. Oh, Orchid up 2. There's no Manta yet. Gone as well. 14k lead. This game is turning into a team show.
Yeah, it's so one-sided at the moment.
15 galvanized now. Look at this mana region. 24, man. That's ridiculous. That's so much mana.
It's a lot of regen. And he's not even gone into the Meteor Hammer. I know there was that nerf, but the Meteor Hammer's still been an interesting choice for a couple of these storms. The mana regen amplification is still 50%, which would give you another 12.
Oh, Rubik again.
Ball Lightning, Orchid. Make it 16 charges on that Galvanized. 17 charges if they kill this DK. And they just cannot kill a new me. He currently is sipping bottle, so he's got 58 on that mana regen, but the mana regen just doesn't stop. He has always got something, and with the wand, he always has an escape plan.
Island trouble again, already charging the stun. Does he see it coming? Now he's dead again.
Yeah, Orchid's out, stun's there, and Malad using that double jump to get right on top of the Brewmaster and getting another kill. And I know that these are BO1s, so you never want to call them that early. But it is looking very improbable.
Yeah, I was also about to say, you shouldn't stay in it too long because you still got a couple more games to play today. Oh, he's just going in 1v3? Seriously?
He's not afraid. The problem now is the swap's been used on the Rubik, so he won't get the shield. But again, it doesn't matter. They killed both supports. He has picked up that Meteor Hammer, so he is getting a bunch of regen. Extra.
Ridiculous, man. 19 charges now.
Although, with the Meteor Hammer, it doesn't look like he got that mana regen amplification, because it was 24 before, wasn't it?
It's because he already had Kaya.
So, getting that kill on Malad, taking out the Pango. Finally one turnaround. Now looking over at Hazy. They get that Ball Lightning into the Orchid, get away from that Supernova, or maybe not even needed, because this is A9 just blowing it up, taking out Paris and Taz. I mean, this is insane.
They're still looking for more. They're not done yet. DK has a Mjolnir, so his damage output is decent, but can he turn around together with he's just too tanky on the Alchemist, man.
We talked about Rubik needing farm. He doesn't even have 3,000 net worth. That's another kill. Make it 4 heroes dead.
Ball
again.
lightning
In. They've got the slow, the Mjolnir armor, and new me. You don't want to die. You get that swap shield on you. They've got this silence, the unstable concoction, another kill there. 21 charges on the galvanized. We talked about 15 being good. Yeah, well, try 21.
Well, we said 15 at level 18 as well.
Yeah.
So. Oh, it's just ridiculous, man. I really like the way that Iran plays this game. They're so aggressive. They don't really give them any sort of space to breathe at all. They're very strong, honestly. I knew that as I said, the Winter Bears team is super strong. I didn't know they had so many good players outside of that.
Yeah, that's true, you know.
It kind of feels like with the uprise of that region, lots of new talents have come out of there, no?
With Mina getting some qualifiers for the circuit that's over there.
Yeah, and Falcons playing there actively as well. That must tremendously improve the quality of their practice.
In Mina, definitely.
Well, that's
Ball
another one.
Vortex, godlike here for a new me.
Region rune as well. Another one.
A9, by the way, 14-0-7.
Yeah. Making it look very easy. What I also like is he still went for the BKB rather than going super crazy because he's having a great game.
Yeah, he definitely could have died if he wasn't sure about that BKB, you know?
Yeah, I really like it. I like everything that this team is doing right now. Very convincing against Jordan, who I thought is one of the favorites to win this whole thing. Then to be fair, Iran is probably... Well, that's also Lebanon, that's the thing. They're also really strong. Losing one game here could be really bad for them. DK is looking to farm, could be. But I think they kind of sniffed it out, didn't they? Oh, they're looking for Roche.
Dire are scanning.
When the DK has to farm the enemy jungle, it doesn't feel that good.
Right.
At all. There's a Bloodbone done on someone. Oh, Alchemist, of course. Storm, DD
Storm
picked up well.
he picked up the Witchblade too.
Yeah.
And there's Roche. Yeah, now he'll never... I don't think he loses a galvanized charge at all.
I think he still loses charges even if you die with ages. I actually have not tested that.
Well, maybe we'll see.
It would be nice.
He's definitely going to be... He's going to be more willing to put a life down the drain, right?
I'm just going to say, if I knew I would lose galvanized charges, I would still be super cautious. I want that number to be as high as possible to feel good.
Facts.
Also, the reason why I steal every kill with Necro.
It's not shocking to hear.
Same with Lion, honestly. You just want those numbers. What I think is criminal is that they removed the permanent damage that Underlord got for kills.
Yeah, they'll bring that back. That sounds like a facet to Ben. Let's be real, you know?
I'm surprised it's not already. That cleave facet is interesting. Like, as if they're trying to make him a carry or something.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I don't like the facet with the Necro Creeps. I know it's the more popular one, but I feel like it's just... It shouldn't be only when there's targets available that these Necro Creeps spawn.
Yeah,
it feels like
I
it's
agree.
Very inconsistent.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And then you're just wasting a facet.
But what's the other one? You know, cleave. Like, what's the other one with cleave? Oh, Arcane Rune on Storm. Oh, that's disgusting. I love it. Smoking out. Maybe we get our answer here. Maybe. No, he won't.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh no.
Taz doesn't have that Ags though. He doesn't have that ability to silence up this storm. There's really no way to just continually lock him down unless you go to the Primal Split and Cyclone him. but willing to use
He's dying. He's dying.
all
looking.
that mana and a new me. He is
He
going to
doesn't
die.
lose.
Doesn't lose it. Does not lose the galvanized stack. They already killed the DK. They use this primal split. They're going to lose this Brewmaster, and they got the Orchid into the swap after the Icarus dive. All right, that's a full team wipe here, and GG is called. Iran's going to take the game.
Very one-sided affair. Not at all what I expected. GG's by them. Well, and now
Really
they're in
well
a
done.
prime position to be in the top seed here.
Yeah.
Man.
That was really good.
Man.
It was a very, very solid game from them overall. I mean, there was no stopping. The lanes went well.
Draft was great.
Yeah, the draft was great. And even losing the Storm mid, I don't think it was much of a hindrance. He was so far ahead, but that's just the power of Storm Spirit. He feels so good mid, and he feels good in a lot of matchups that are happening right now. There's just not a lot of mids that counter him.
Agreed. And even mids that do counter him, if he ever starts snowballing, he counters every hero in the game. Literally. As soon as Storm has an early Orchid, he kills any hero in the map.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights here, because we are ready with those. It's a quick 25-minute game, so there may not be that many highlights for us to look at. But, I mean, there was great play coming around from the side of Iran. 16-0-9 for A9, by the way. So you're going to watch a lot of Alchemists be involved, which, truth be told, not something you see from Alchemists too often.
I really like just the aggressive playstyle overall. Even the Storm, like he saw the Phoenix, he was attacking him a little bit. Yeah, of course he started running as soon as he noticed he can't really win that fight, but he turned around on task and he was like, what do you want from me? You know? Didn't go his way that time, but just look how aggressive they are throughout the entire game. They never give him any sort of time to recover from any mistakes. They just drowned him out.
Yeah.
Look at this too. Alchemist is like, what, do you want to go with me? Well, good luck with the Supernova. I'm just going to smash that thing.
Yeah, truly. This doesn't stop, man. It's so insane how much you can just pressure out and just go in.
Yeah.
Alchemist is very, very strong.
Very cohesive team as well. Just like the team play felt on point pretty much the entire game. They always backed each other up when they had to. Yep. Yep. Makes me wonder.
Wow.
Are these players all part of a team or not?
Because it was so fluid.
Yeah, let me see right now. So
If we do get an interview, it's definitely a question to ask, right?
apparently I know a couple of these guys for sure from matchmaking. They're also young. The oldest player is born in the year 2000.
Whoa. That is pretty crazy. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, 2000 for me and you is pretty young when I was born in 92, you know? Like,
Yeah.
God, I feel like such a...
Boomer.
oh, yeah. I really feel like an old guy here.
No, don't worry.
Yikes.
What's on the inside matters the most.
Yeah, young at heart, maybe.
That's right.
Who knows? Gosh, that is very funny. There's such cohesion here for this side of Iran. It looked really good. There's nothing to be upset with.
Yep. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as they say.
Definitely do. I'm still a lemon squeezy kind of person.
Yeah, same. I think that's just our generation.
Oh, for sure.
You know what my problem is? So I've been away from Germany since I was 16, and I just don't even know what culture I'm in anymore. Like, you know, every country has like their own way of saying things. I'm just mixing up everything that I picked up in every country ever.
Well, that's an esports kind of thing, isn't it?
Probably, but I also just lived in so many different countries where I feel like I kind of lost my identity.
Fair enough.
Well, as we see more highlights, truth be told, the highlights are pretty much just them smashing Jordan to pieces. I don't think they even got a kill other than the Aegis. They ended the game with 10 kills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They ended it.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah, they did.
That is just demoralizing. Absolute destruction. This is the kind of game where you AFK fountain and say go mid. You quin it.
Yeah, just end.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. It's just a rough one, unfortunately.
Especially in your first game of the tournament, this kind of loss feels it always is really tough. Makes you doubt yourself a bit, you know?
Yeah, it does. Definitely. It's a rough one. It just feels as though, like, what can we do? And I will say this, you know, Syria got their win over Qatar. They won in a similar amount of time. And now Jordan against Syria, that's going to be a close matchup, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. And a very important matchup, too, for Jordan, especially. Well, for both of them. Since they're both down 0-1.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Question marks are always good, seemingly. I'm also a little bit surprised because they did do a lane swap, right? Yeah, it says task carry, Valerian mid. Maybe that wasn't planned right from the bat, right from the get-go too. Could be something they were uncomfortable with because Task did get destroyed quite hard in mid lane. I don't know if that's like his usual, go-to role or not. But Enumi really outclassed him. Well, the whole team outclassed Jordan.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough one. You have to build back up, and I think this next matchup here for Jordan is going to be very important. There's only 2 slots, and it's very tight. You really have no room for mistakes. Yeah. And I will say we're fortunate because the next matchup is going to be Jordan against Syria. So we are going to see that matchup. And I think if Jordan lose that, from what we've seen with the 5-team qualifiers, your chances are very slim of making it in.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw in a quick update from the South region. So India, Nepal, 100% guaranteed to be qualified. So tomorrow they'll play each other. That will be basically for seeding, which in Chengdu could be absolutely important. I jokingly said to Vlad, imagine you're the first seed, and then you have to play against China.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm wondering if those teams are even going to play for seeding because you don't really know where you stand. You don't know the Chinese roster. You don't know who you're really going to be going up against. We've seen teams that, like seeding games, they'll just, you know what, let's just scrim instead. Let's figure it out.
Yeah,
we've seen it elsewhere, especially when everything's confirmed already.
You know what I'm wondering the most is, so from most regions it's 2 teams, right? Are they mostly going to be practicing between each other, or are they going to look for international competition here? Because probably any team that attends there other than your region, you don't want to play against them. And the thing is, even against your own region, you might end up playing. Yeah.
So we'll have to see if they do end up choosing to play each other tomorrow. I could definitely see them choosing to not do it and look for something else. There's not much at stake instead of seeding, but we still got some more matchups today here for the West Asia qualifier, and we'll be back in a short break, coming back with Jordan versus Syria. So we see you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is time for some more Iesf Asia qualifiers. We are still in West Asia, and we are still with the Jordan team. They're going to be taking on the Syrian team, and I am not joined by Black anymore. I'm joined here by Waxen, and I like your shirt, by the way. I'm a big fan of the triple button, the heathered shirt. You're looking great. You're looking swell.
That's a nice way, I guess. If swell is a compliment these days,
sometimes always a compliment.
Well, I could be swollen. My face could be puffy, that might look bad. But thank you, Bcop. It's great to be here with you, especially as I was surprised. I showed up here ready to see Jordan taking that game one and, cruising into another victory versus Syria. But no, as I came home, they got completely annihilated. And now they're with the backs against the wall, because if you lose 2 maps in this group stage format, there are chances of you getting one of those top 2 slots are going to be getting slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah, it really does cut it to about, I would say, 5%. You have to hope for like a tiebreaker situation.
Yeah.
And coming off a loss like that to Iran, one, it makes Iran feel like they should be the strongest team, but we'll see, because they have to go against this Syrian roster who beat Qatar. We'll say maybe Qatar isn't the strongest Dota roster. They did beat them in a similar timing as to which Jordan lost, actually a little bit quicker in terms of how quickly Jordan lost. So Syria with Scorp Dota, Habibi, Blizzard, Vata, and I don't know. I'm going to have to ask somebody on that one.
I'm going with Yabolna or Jabolna. I think Yabolna sounds about right. Yabolna?
Potentially. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll ask him when I get a chance to. But this Syrian squad, they looked really strong in their Qatar matchup. They went to a Pudge, Darkseer, TA, Coddle, Treant lineup against a lineup from Qatar that is pretty on point when it comes to the meta of Shadow Fiend, Marcy, and then Windrunner, Dark Willow, and Mars. And maybe greedy on your supports with the Marcy and the Dark Willow, if that's the way they played it. And that could have been what caused them some issues, because Pudge can kind of get off to the races pretty quickly. Especially, I think that's a support Pudge, and that was a Coddle mid. Yeah, yes. And the Coddle mid is something that works very fast. So,
welcome to my world. This is where I'm going to start breaking down for you. Syria won with that comp, and it was a Coddle mid. I'm the number 1 Coddle mid hater. I think that I hate Coddle mid. I don't think it ever wins. I don't think it ever wins games, and when it does, it's not because of him. Yeah, okay, he's got 5-10 minutes when he nukes down everybody. But even earlier today, before you joined me and Black, we had a Coddle, and it was as useless as ever. So I'm not a Syrian fan anymore. 100%, I'm backing up Jordan right now, only because if you're a dirty Coddle picker, I don't want you to be winning.
Was it that first game of the Bangladesh matchup?
Yes, that is the one that was. And I'm gonna say this, because the reason I started, developing my hatred for Coddle mid is because of Nigma. I used to be a Nigma fan, but after seeing them lose with Coddle mid, I don't know, hundreds of times, I'm like, I just don't want to see it anymore. It hurts me deep down inside.
Yeah, it'll do that, but you do work with Black often, and he won as a Coddle mid with me playing Zeus in the support role. So we did win with it before, so I do have some love for Coddle. It got me and Black a win over Seb, and he's a 2-time TI champion, and I will bring it up every chance I can to just say, hey, by the way, we won that show match. It's fine. It was pretty great. So am I a Coddle mid hater? A little bit. I'm not the hugest fan of that hero, but it definitely, based on what we've seen, this region so far is fast, and it gives you that, I would say. The Darkseer in that game also had a wonderful time. And you look at that kill line, and that's 7-4 and 25. Being a part of 32 kills in 23 minutes. That's nuts.
I would say throughout today, the last couple of days of this qualifier, there's 2 heroes that stand out the most for me, and they're both offlaners. It's the Beastmaster and the Darkseer, and I think at this point, if either of these 2 heroes make it past the first ban phase, you deserve to lose to them. They are so good. They seem to have huge impact even when playing from behind. And I hope Jordan will actually look at that and take out the Dark Seer, as Syria themselves seem to going straight for the Beastmaster ban.
Yeah, Beastmaster getting banned. Brood's still getting banned quite a bit. We're seeing Brood get banned, and we're never really seeing it get picked. But from what I've been told, it's an S tier offlaner. So we'll see. One of these days, somebody's going to let it through, and it'll get picked. And then, of course, it'll be a loss. That's usually what happens. Yep. You get told all these stories, these theories, these opinions on a hero that, nothing can beat it. And then it gets slammed. It's usually not a pretty loss either. So, Jordan, they go into the Tiny. You've got Brewmaster first pick for Syria. And we saw Brew played by Jordan, and it got beat pretty hard. There was the Orchid picked up by the Alchemist. Orchid picked up, of course, by Storm against it. So Jordan know how to beat it. And I think Storm is a very strong mid laner right now. I would be shocked to see it completely ignored in a match like this.
They also opened up with the Tiny, which seems to be the favorite opening of the Asian qualifier. I think this is at least the fourth game where I have Tiny as a first pick throughout the last few days. So quite good. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Tiny mid these days, maybe even carry. I think as a support, he doesn't hit the tempo as fast as he should from the core role. But I love the fact that Jordan did go for the Dark Seer ban. I think if they would have let it through and Syria had overall first pick, they probably would have taken that instead of the Brewmaster. But Brew in himself, he's a very strong offlaner, maybe a top 6 in the current meta.
Yeah, we'll see how Brew does, and I'm interested to see these drafts because allegedly right now Aframoosh is the coach for the Jordan side. We've seen him there before, and I like what he does. He played for Jordan,
last year.
I think last ISF.
That's correct.
So he was in it with Mage, and I mean these guys. That's what makes the Jordan loss, I would say, so shocking, is because we've seen rosters from Jordan perform very well. So you've got a lot of talent behind it. Actually, me and Black were talking about it in their last game, the fact that they have ATF listed as a sub. And then there's always the mystery with the Jordan rosters. Is Miracle going to show up? That's always the rumor. Maybe he comes for a game or something like that.
I don't want to say yes, but I'm holding my fingers for it, because imagine just having Miracle play. But Miracle might show up in Chengdu. Jordan needs to actually come across much better with the draft in this one if we want to dream even of seeing the one and only over there. And I mean, honestly, I heard you and Black talk about this off stream about the players and the caliber of players that the Iranian squad has, but I was expecting them to be a very underdog team because they don't have any of the Winter Bear players on their roster, right? Not Mikey and none of his teammates. And I said, okay, Iran would have had a great lineup had they used players of that roster, because Winter Bears had pretty successful season, right? Sometimes taking off maps from PSG Quest and even Nigma Galaxy a few times. But even still, this shows us that Iran has a big Dota scene with a lot of potential, upsetting Jordan in, dominating fashion, right? So right now, they are going to be having a game off stream while we get this, and they'll be facing Lebanon, not Libya, which I think is going to be quite a close one. So we'll keep an eye on that while this series ahead of us commences. Dark Willow. Okay, I got to ask you, Bicop. Do you really think this hero is still as strong despite the 2 massive nerfs it received just a few days ago?
I don't think the Brambles is as big of a nerf, but I do think the Bedlam change is a much bigger nerf, because that's what made this hero viable. Although prior to that, Darkwill was seeing some picks, even with the Bedlam change, because you could sit back and you could do, all of your kit from afar and be this great support. Yeah. I will say, though, I think the Bramble change is fine. The duration, 15 to 12, 12 in itself is a long time. 15 is an unreasonable amount of time. But the extra Brambles with Thorny Thicket, I think is fine. I think you're still in a strong spot, and overall, I think you're okay. You're fine.
I think the Bedlam change is big, but you know what I think the Bedlam does to the hero? It makes you more inclined to go for the other facet, the throwing shade one, because now you deal more damage to nearby heroes whilst in Shadow Realm. So if you pop Bedlam, blink in Shadow Realm, the Bedlam in itself does more damage. So I think maybe that's what Valve wanted with this change. They wanted the Dark Willow to be up there close and personal. And now paired up with Spirit Breaker and Tiny, they have a lot of these heroes that just want to be in your face.
Yeah, the question is, do teams want to go away from Thorny Thicket? Thorny Thicket just gives too many benefits.
Yeah.
And I think teams are very happy with what you get in lane, and especially now with Spirit Breaker in it, you know, you cut off, it's very much a lot of zone area denial. So you put that down, you've got area denial, you get charged from the other side. Where do you really go? You have to go into the other team. It forces you to fight. And I think that they want that. But the Winter Wyvern, so this is probably Wyvern, Dark Willow, although this could be Wyvern off lane.
10 seconds
And Spirit Breaker 4, Dark Willow 5. I'm interested to see where they throw this, because the Winter Wyvern is very strong in lane, and it can be a very big nuisance with farm, especially.
So earlier today, we had a Spirit Breaker off lane, which would
that's not a surprise.
Which mean we would get a... I mean, if you could choose between Breaker or Wyvern 3, which one would you go for? Especially versus CK in lane.
Maybe Wyvern. Just because, especially mid game when you've got Winter's Curse, you just control up that CK, and I think you're fine. And you could fight from afar, having Arctic Burn, taking that Dragon Sight as your facet as well. I'm more inclined to throw supports in into a core role because I like seeing supports do damage.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I also love a serious draft, right? I feel like we've been very focused on this Willow, Bara Drum, Winter Wyvern picks, but Syria themselves are exceptional, especially with the addition of the Grimstroke. You have the Soulbind, double Chaos Bolt, double Reality Rift, double Lasso, which is classic. And in recent times, Grimstroke has been actually picked as a counter to Batrider, rushing the Aghanim Shard and using it as a debuff for Lasso. So picking them paired up together not only is a steal from Syria, but also a classic great pairing. Even Hurling Boulder from a Primal Split Brewmaster with the Soulbind. But on top of that, you get the Inkswell for the extra AoE stun, the extra movement speed for the CK and the Batrider. So Grimstroke is looking very, very good here, as his Phantom's Embrace might actually punish Winter Wyvern if this is going to be a core Wyvern.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Jordan because the Abaddon got banned. You've got Batrider and the Lasso with, like you said, the Grimstroke being taken by them. You think about heroes that could stop the Lasso, and my eyes are on a Legion, but Legion doesn't fit this lineup unless they were to do something kind of crazy, and that would be like Wyvern mid with a safe... Well, you could go safe lane Legion, but I don't think that is something that you're entirely willing to do.
We had a Slardar safe lane today, which again I wasn't a fan of either. So I would stay away as much as possible from having flexes like this, and maybe Jordan for going for just banking on the Wyvern to counter every Lasso, right? The Batrider jumps in and you just Winter's Curse him every single time. And I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're completely going away from it and taking the Ember Spirit. But Ember Spirit, again, that Grimstroke Phantom's Embrace is going to be really good against him.
Yeah, definitely. And the Ember, I think we're going to need to see no Mage Slayer. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Mage Slayer early. I want it to be Maelstrom first.
Okay, no, Beak Up. No. Give me a Mage Slayer, because earlier today, I saw the craziest Ember Spirit game that both me and Black have... I mean, I've never even thought about this build. It was an Ember Spirit got Threads, Wand, Bloodstone, Dagon.
Did it win?
Of course not. What type of question is this?
I don't know. You were like crazy build. Maybe it won. Who knows? Just asking questions here.
And then the Ember went to complete the Mage Slayer, and of course that didn't happen. Purchased the cloak, and the game ended. So I would rather take the Mage Slayer instead of the Dagon, please. But in this game, I gotta say, Dagon would make more sense because it kills a Phantasm illusion.
I don't know. I want the Maelstrom. Just give me Maelstrom on the
Of course.
On the Ember, please stop going. You can go Mage Slayer after. That's fine.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
Maelstrom
one.
is your farming item. And a decent item in fights. Show me a Maelstrom first, please.
I have to agree. No, Maelstrom just to accelerate your farm and just the input of damage that you do with a Sleight of Fist every team fight is the way to go. And it's gonna be
DK, no surprise.
Replied with the Dragon Knight, classic matchup, right? Ember DK. They both should be fine. But there is some ganking potential, especially if Paris's Spirit Breaker wants to start rotating early, right? You leave your lane, you join up with the Dark Willow, and you go help the Ember kill the DK. If the DK oversteps, there is something there. As Jordan has a really, like I said, in-your-face lineup, and I think they really want to play on a fast pace. They want to Remnant in, Avalanche Toss, Blink, Spirit Breaker charge, Dark Willow with the Bedlam. I also feel like they're playing on a timer. I know tiny late game can be a menace, but I really think this Chaos Knight would completely destroy him if we go minute 45, 50 or later.
Yeah, so an off-lane Wyvern that's going up against the CK. I'm interested to see how that matchup ends up because you can do damage from afar. I think you're in an okay spot. Arctic Burn early is kind of rough to deal with, but we'll see. The safe lane Tiny is really where I kind of start questioning everything. So I'm not the biggest safe lane, the biggest safe lane Tiny supporter.
Well, with that being said, we also gotta talk about the experience between these two teams because Jordan has, I would say, considerably more competitive experience than the Syrian players, right? So this might have to come into play from them, especially as they're playing with, like we said, back towards the wall. They had a really poor showing in game number 1, so there's a lot at stake for Jordan here to showcase to the world that they are the team that has the upper hand. As right now, BCOP, we are underway with the best of one matchup between these two squads.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing some swaps here. Taz is going mid with this Ember. He's listed as their safe laner, and it looks like we're going to find ourselves getting a fight. The early Bramble Maze isn't going to be enough. These heroes on the side of the Radiant aren't exactly in. It was a short-thrown Bramble Maze. They already lose this Spirit Breaker, and Valyrian, he's going to die too. So you lose 2. You go into the Void Drunken Brawler, and it gives you that status resistance. Taz dies, and it's 3 heroes dead in a 1,000 pre-bounty net worth lead for the side of Syria.
This
That's
is
rough.
Disgustingly bad. You've got a Dark Willow Tiny, 2 of these heroes that are very good at fighting for the bounty rune, and you just got completely trumpstered because, like you mentioned, the status resist and a lot of the magic input damage coming in from, well, predominantly the supports, but even the right clicks from the CK. He also popped 2 Chaos Bolts in that team fight. Wow, not the start that they wanted to have. And now we get Nagato going for an early observer D-word in their own jungle. There was no support going to D-word that, really.
Yeah, getting that D-word, getting yourself a little bit of gold, always nice. You want to make sure that you're backing up and I guess checking stacks potentially being made. And now you're behind quite a bit. And the one who got the most out of that was the Grimstroke, and it puts this Wyvern in an even worse spot if Grimstroke could kind of get out early and do a bit with this advantage.
Especially when Chaos Knight will hit level 3, right? That's when he has the Chaos Strike and the Reality Rift to pull them closer to him. Up until that point, Wyvern wants to get ahead, so let's see if he can actually sustain himself long enough. As Paris gets a kill on the Courier bottom, in mid, Taz versus Jablona? Is that what we settled on? We'll be just trading blows. I don't expect any action.
Nagato? Cinderbrew activating, right clicks in, has the Fairy Fire, even turns around. But not going to be a kill. How well Soul does is going to be a real indicator here, and I am very worried for the Jordanian side. Not that this is an open lane, definitely, but Wyvern early on isn't going to exactly give you too much except for Arctic Burn against this CK, and a charge doesn't feel too devastating.
I honestly think Paris should get level 2 and give as much space to Isla as possible, because Isla needs to have the XP advantage if she wants to stay. But we see this level 2 already.
There's the stun. Inkswell too is going to pop. He's dead. They might have even been able to transition that into a kill onto the Spirit Breaker. Valyrian also dies, and it's 5-0. And they might even lose this Dark Willow. There's 5 stacks of sticky napalm up top, and Nagato, oh god, dive under the tower. Yep.
My goodness.
Another kill. 6-0.
I thought the danger will come level 3, but that's definitely not what happened as they're going for more.
They're going again. Bottom. Inkswell, stun up. No neutrals. They may not help you. Oh gosh. Soul getting another kill. This Jordan team is off to a rocky start. I did not expect it to be like this.
Neither did I. Like I said, I thought level 3 is when the CK will get active with a usage of the Inkswell, but Soul is turning into a killing machine at level 2. I know CK is really good in the current meta, but maybe it feels too strong right now, and it might just be a bit of an overcommit from Isla a few times there.
Ooh, Nagato gets the Lotus Petal top, but he is looking pretty dead. Well,
yeah, we've
Wizard with
been
another kill.
Stuck following this bottom lane, but action is happening left, right, and center as well. Now the charge bottom.
There's nothing they could do with that. Paris might even just die. He already used charge. If they go Inkswell with this, he's in a lot of trouble. Actually, and I like this, changing attention onto the Winter Wyvern, because they know that Paris doesn't have charge, but they just don't quite have the damage to get that kill.
Charging 1 second.
Burn, charge? Yeah. All right. Well, that's giving it back.
Small victory.
You know what? I almost say it's wisely giving it back. You don't have to give up killing spree gold.
Yeah. No, that is that.
Just die and come back. Full health, full mana. it's a viable death.
But what are you doing now? Look at this
very
Batrider.
funny.
Batrider is going mid, want to secure the water rune, not allowing Taz to get it. Using this Searing Chains and Dragon Tail. Nope. Ember doesn't get the water rune.
Oh, no. Taz. He's dead, man. He has sight in a second, but it doesn't matter. There's no support that's going to save him. Charge would be too slow. A TP would have been too slow as well. And this is a very open lane right now for DK.
This Batrider is completely taking over the game. He's having so much impact.
It's the Cinder Brew with now the Flame Break. These Brambles don't matter if you can run, and Firefly, the Shadow Realm Strike's going to do some damage, but Batrider is very willing to die here if both these heroes go down.
And bottom, the action
before
continues.
He dies.
They keep going bottom. This is unbelievable, Beakoff. Isla is going to fall.
Yeah, 2 seconds. He is... Oh, the bash! But the reality rift, it's not going to matter. They just keep going. It's 12-2. This is where in my pubs I say, all right, GG. It's over. Just end. And go down mid. And then my team goes, it's winnable.
Where's Dark Willow here? What is Dark Willow going to do here? Like, die as well?
They're going to try and throw down a Bramble Maze, but if Soul sits back, they're fine. That's a kill again over mid. Net worth-wise, if you take a quick look, it's gruesome.
It's also 76% win rate probability minute 6. It's not something I have ever seen.
Sometimes. It depends on the heroes. Back in the day, you used to see like Spectre get the benefits of that.
Yeah, true.
And they want to go for the Grimstroke. But again, Reality Rift, 2-second stun. Yeah, you'll Inkswell, but are you going to be safe enough? Inkswell pops onto the Dark Willow, so they'll have to leave the Grimstroke to die. That's a kill that they can get, but they've got the Batrider, who's level 5, 6 minutes into the game.
On the support,
that
not
means
offlane.
The sticky napalm's high level. You've got a lot of burn damage. Reality Rift, you have Flame Break if need be. Curse Crown will stun up the Bat Rider. And here comes the DK. This is the big turnaround they want. Flame Break on 2. They've got Soul working on a solo Spirit Breaker. They kill Isla and Nagato.
He's hasted.
Oh my, he wants it.
Oh, nice.
Into the trees, trying to juke. But eventually, yeah, he'll be spotted.
Charging 1
Is it
second.
just enough mana?
Oh, that's not the way I thought he was going to use the charge.
Oh, he doesn't have the mana for the Breathe Fire.
He's out. He's out.
The 7-minute rune.
He's going for
Is
it.
he willing? He needs more friends here because he's just going to give up his life being this aggressive.
CK is nearby.
Especially going into the second Brambles. Oh, the Reality Rift, the charge. He has 5 charges on the wand, but it's on cooldown. CK picked up the Wisdom Rune. He's got enough for Phantasm now. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't exactly want to dive into the tower, but you do have creeps, so you are fine. Another Arctic Burn to get on the peninsula and away from this team.
The pursuit is relentless. Look at Soul. He's still on it. Oh, finally. Kind of wants to stop, I guess. But they're TPing mid. Taz might be in danger here. The lasso's available.
Oh, bottom. Looks like they're going to try and get another kill. They've got the Phantom's Embrace. While mid, there's a lasso. They'll get the kill on a Taz. Isla under the tower, his own tower. He thinks it's safe, but it's really not. Ember has nothing. Truly nothing. Charge on a Soul.
I don't think you kill him.
Inkswell. They're going to need a third, and they're actually going to get a third. But now they're going to get everybody. They're mad. Everybody TPing bottom. He's still not dead.
What is happening?
Oh, finally they got him.
Ember going forward.
Lasso's not available. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, Brambles down. They've got the charge, but they soulbind, they silence, they stop the charge. He's not dead. Inkswell onto the Bat Rider. A Flame Break. Ooh, not going to push him into the Inkswell. The chase with the sticky napalm. They do have an Ember here. Dragon Knight's made the rotation. That's a dead Spirit Breaker. 20-5. 8 minutes into the game. A Breathe Fire missing on the Dark Willow. Goes into the Shadow Realm to leave. But DK is chasing, and Ember still wants to get a kill on the Grimstroke, but he still can't do that. And if you're Reality Rift, you'll pull him into the Inkswell, but they can't get the vision and the range. So he's under the tower. Ana Ila, who's still level 5. No Winter's Curse. Cold Embrace looking like it's going to extend the inevitable. They'll TP down another Spirit Breaker, another hero. The charge is onto the DK. And does this bait them into thinking that they can fight? Because this is a questionable exchange.
Is there an exchange? I mean, it's 21-5.
No.
I don't know when the last Dire kill came.
By the way, it's also Lizard free top doing bruise work, farming and getting close to a Radiance at 12 minutes. I would say would be the timing. Remnant away, but the Inkswell. Now the Avalanche. Cursed Crown. He's got to get on that high ground for safety. They're still going after Paris off to the side, but he's able to charge away. They want this vision. They want the attention onto this Bat Rider, but the Flame Break. Oh, the Breathe Fire, the damage with the sticky napalm. They're under the tower. They get the kill there on the Dark Willow. There's no tier 1 to go to. There's no way to save him. Ila's here, but he's still just level 5. They finally get a kill onto the Grimstroke. They look over at this Bat Rider. Good charge in between both him and the DK. Taz is here to swipe that kill. And it finally gets Ila level 6. They do have a Winter's Curse, though. Remnant forward. They might hold him still with it. But he pops a pretty hefty wand.
Oh,
and they've
here.
got a Brewmaster now with the Primal Split ready and available, which he'll use. This Winter's Curse is it? Ooh.
Pause.
I was gonna say, is it gonna be enough? DK, he disconnects. He might be dead. They don't have CK, but CK has TP. He could come.
He wants to get the T1 to the bottom, right? That's why he's focusing the tower. I think his
Yeah,
soul.
but you could clean up everybody,
I know.
and that's more worth.
If Jordan get the kill on the Dragon Knight and get out safely without losing anyone to the Brew or to potentially the Chaos Knight of Soul, it would be the first good thing to happen to them all game long, it feels like, because it would be 3 kills for none. At the same time, the Grimstroke is also respawning in 5 seconds, but thankfully he doesn't have a TP for 20. So Jordan, if Soul gets greedy with the tower, they could get away scot-free. I'm actually not quite sure Paris can survive here because I think the Brewmaster will just focus him. But because what is happening? Look at this net worth-wise. Batrider is about to outfarm every single player on the Dire side. He's just 450, 500 gold behind the Tiny. Otherwise, is outscaling and outfarming the Ember and the Wyvern.
Just no.
A little worried about this disconnect, but yeah, Batrider, he's got some small items. He's got Tranquils, Null, and he's going into drums. He wants that blink. But I will say, it does feel as though that there might be some consistent internet problems here with the DK. From what I'm assuming, I'm reading in some of the non-English.
Oh, I saw it says, welcome to MENA from Sal, which is very interesting considering the Jordan players have played in MENA, well, for a big part of their careers, I would say. So quite interesting fighting words from Sol. I like seeing that. Otherwise, I didn't quite... Yeah, please, go for it.
I was going to say, I'm just looking at these 3 heroes. They're all hit with Breathe Fire on the corrosive facet. So their damage is lowered by 30%.
Yep.
They're also slowed with the Cinder Brew ignited. The Wyvern is stunned. There's still the Cyclone, I believe, he could apply. DK has 300 life. No wands to pop. I'm wondering, is there any way he survives right here?
I am positive he dies.
I don't know. I've seen crazier things.
I am positive he dies.
If you Cyclone the Ember...
no. You got to Cyclone the Spirit Breaker. I believe...
No.
Yes. Because the Spirit Breaker's charging right now.
Yes, but he still has to get that bash. And he's slowed on this charge.
I think you gotta Cyclone the Ember and then pray that the Splinter Blast doesn't do sufficient damage to kill the DK.
Oh yeah, there is a creep getting Splinter Blasted, isn't
No, he has it.
There is no Splinter Blast.
He's gonna cast it right now.
He's stunned for the moment, for like a 0.3 of a second.
He doesn't have a BKB or a Yulscepter. What? Because what? He's dying. He isn't. This Dragon Knight does not survive.
I've seen crazier things.
I would be willing to bet, although I'm not a betting man, that this Dragon Knight dies here. And look, he's now back. Dark Willow dropped out. That is
apparently hashtag Mina things.
Okay, how far away is the Void Panda? Because if he uses the Astral Pull, right, onto the Ember Spirit, or the other way around, Astral Pull onto the Spirit Breaker, and
Cyclone
then
the Tiny, because Tiny has Avalanche in a second.
Yeah, and Toss available. Maybe then, fine, I'm willing to give 1%. There's a 1% chance he survives.
I'm here for it. Also, I'm here for it. Yeah. I'm here for it. How much will he regen? Let's see. We're getting back in it.
Let's go.
Here we go. And alive and dead.
Well done, Miko.
All right, it was as simple as that. He threw the tree. I didn't calculate that into my options here.
CK is here.
I did calculate coming, and he's got the Phantasm to break off that Cursed Crown, but can they get anybody on this? They don't have a lot of mana to work with, and Grimstroke is walking mid because he doesn't have a TP. Now he does. But Nether Strike? All right, well, this is Paris in trouble or Soul in trouble.
Bash?
Soul, he's dead. Grimstroke not there in time to help.
All
of a sudden, it's 5k to 3k.
Should have taken the tower. Should have taken the tower.
Batrider will take it because he needs the gold. He's got drums now.
I mean, this Tiny now. completely jumped up the network because he was alive in that entire skirmish. So he got a huge gold influx and a lot of the XP going towards him. So that's very good. Quite exciting to see him being the only saving grace. Also, what are your thoughts on the facet that he took? Because even on mid tiny, we'd still see the toss facet, but we did go for the insurmountable, which is going to give him slow and status resist from strength. Do you think that's the correct one, even if you're playing core tiny?
I think so, just because you need the slow resistance and the status resistance against this Bat Rider and this Brewmaster. You need something.
Okay.
I think the matchup called for it. And it's just tough to play against these heroes when you're getting constantly slowed and constantly, lasso, even that 10% status resistance might help you out a little bit. They've got lasso, and Taz doesn't really have mana, but he remnants all the way out. And they are on top of the Dark Willow. They're continuing to try their onslaught. Flame break into the lasso to stop the TP. And Nagato ends up dead to a Bat Rider that apparently loves to buy back.
Oh man, he's only level
Hasn't
5
done it yet,
still. Only level 5 on this Dark Willow. I think it's also
That's
quite
level
painful.
8. So is Grim, actually.
Wait, who's level
They
8?
did steal both Wisdom runes, both Grim and Bat Rider.
Oh yeah. No, I was thinking about Dark Willow.
No, I know. I'm just saying, in comparison,
Oh yeah.
both supports are level 8.
I've seen Winter Wyverns position 5 that have higher net worth at minute 12 than this current Winter Wyvern. And that's not throwing any shade, it's just an observation.
And they found Taz. They do not have lasso, but it will not matter. The continued
Blink.
lockdown with the Ink Swell and the Dragon Tail just feels so good. Again, I don't think you need to stop fighting. You lost a couple there. You're back up to 5k. You've got your blink mechanic. You've got your stun, your lockdown. Somehow Bat Rider's got 1,100 more gold after picking up the drum, so he's got more gold ready to go and potentially a blink dagger in the next few minutes or so. Item-wise, Dire don't really have anything coming out. They want Mage Slayer on this Ember, but good luck with that.
I mean, he's not getting a Maelstrom. I don't think he's getting the
He should.
Mage Slayer either. I know I'm looking like finances wise. Where's the credits? Yeah. And it's also they have level 6 on Nagato, right? Maybe the Terrorize might help some of his teammates escape when they're getting jumped on, right? I mean, it's the small things that count. Spirit Breaker has the Blitz Knuckles for extra attack speed, but he's quite a way off from the Shadow Blade himself. I don't know, B-Cop. There's a Dragon Lance on the Winter Wyvern. That is one good thing going in their favor, but the Arctic Burn, he only has 2 points in it because he's feeling forced to max out Splinterbast to just push the waves back so they don't lose every single tower.
Yeah. The Split West the right move, though. You needed to farm, you needed to get these creeps, and you needed to just get to those next couple items. Like, this is an off-lane Winter Wyvern that wants to get a good amount of farm, and technically second in the net worth for his team.
They're smoking up. They want to get something.
So a bit early. A bit early. Oh, no way. No way are they going to camp this thing. He's not going to jump to it. Surely he would never jump to that.
Well, he might, but good game assist from Jordan.
You've got Soul showing. There's no way he jumps to that. Please, I beg. Now is not the time to fat finger.
You know what's going to make it even worse? In about 2 minutes, when this Bat Rider will have a Blink Dagger for himself, that's going to actually be very, very painful. On top of that,
2 minutes. It should be within the next minute. Surely.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm trying to back Jordan up in this one.
Too high for that.
He's 400 ahead of the Wyvern and 1,000 ahead of the Ember Spirit. This is not an Ember Spirit support. It's not some crazy play. This was a mid lane Ember that got shut down because of 2 beautiful rotations of the Bat Rider himself.
They're going to have an Orchid on the CK. Life's just going to get harder. They're going Inkswell, looking, searching who they're going to go for. They will find that Spirit Breaker. They have the Phantom's Embrace. That's a long silence. And long enough to get the kill. Now, Phantom's Embrace is only level 2. So the attacks right now are 6, but it'll be 9 on the next one, which is insane. But hero attacks are counting as 3 each, so it'll be 3 hits. Terrorize, Curse Crown, but now they've got the lasso onto this Winter Wyvern who's supposed to be using Winter's Curse to do something, but it's to try and survive. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter. So now when you respawn, Winter's Curse is on cooldown for 80. So you really don't have any defensive spells. And because Terrorize is down for 90 as well.
Dire's middle tower is under
Tier 2 should fall very, very swiftly. They even have a
If
catapult.
they're willing to come in under the tower, yeah.
Yeah,
The
they need to
problem is
protect
they
it.
don't have creeps.
Oh, that's good. Still the power of the Ember Spirit cutting down the... cutting all the creeps. I don't even know, Beacop. Like, what are we even talking about this here? This is probably one of the most one-sided games we've seen, but they're trying to charge.
And they're trying. They're going to go after the Grimstroke, but again, just getting Grimstroke may not be good enough. He survives, but he's in the brambles, throws a Soulbind out before he dies, just in case Taz connects over to somebody. There's a buyback used by the Grim. The Curse Crown's going to be onto the Bat Rider. They're trying to get the save. They have the Breathe Fire. Spirit Breaker's in with a charge. Toss Avalanche. That's 2 kills with the buyback used. But how much do now the Radiant get afterwards? Because you've got Brewmaster whacking down this Dark Will. They kill off the Spirit Breaker. They take out the Winter Wyvern. Everybody but the Tiny dies.
It's not a team wipe.
And then Brew's got bots, so he's top now.
Oh my god.
Like, this is Radiant's bots. This isn't just Radiance. This is Brewmaster being able to push out creep waves and pressure the entirety of the map with that kind of movement.
And he's 400 gold away from having the full shard as well, so he can get in and out as well of his primal split. And
I would almost say he doesn't need that.
I think he doesn't need
I'll
it.
be honest.
Like, what's the danger? Who's gonna kill his Brewlings?
Like, it increases the duration, which is great. I don't know if he exactly needs that at the moment, especially when you're seeing heroes like Taz die in 5 seconds. And by 5 seconds, I mean 0.25 seconds. Another charge. This is a Grimstroke that bought back, and there really isn't much of a response until after he dies, which is fine. Flame Break, Shadow Realm, Winter's Curse, again, very defensive, and they're going to use the Terrorize. It only hits the Bat Rider, so Dark Willow's still dead.
Okay, if that Winter Curse hits on the Bat Rider and Lizard gets them to work with some right clicks, he could get the Bat lower-ish. But essentially 2 big ultimates wasted yet again. And like you said, no more defensive capabilities, and they're going ahead. And I love to buy back. Doesn't even care. He doesn't have glass. So going up front, cutting the wave, using the Firefly to just kill the creep wave. And the Tiny is still farming. That is the one good thing that Jordan have going for them, but he can't keep up with 4 other heroes on the Radiant side, Beacop. He has a Shadow Blade Echo Saber, but he can't go for a Silver Edge to get that extra break and bonus damage because he feels like he needs a BKB, which is true. He does need a BKB.
Yeah, I don't exactly think he'll finish that Silver Edge either. I don't think that's exactly the value that you need.
Yeah, maybe not.
He could, because it's a slot, and you might want to just keep it from, you know, just upgrade a slot that you've got. But he desperately needs this BKB. They don't even feel the need to go for BKBs on the side of the Radiant. DK's going for one. He's got Mage Slayer and the Blink Dagger, but this is a CK that's now going Manta, Blink, Heart.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Blink, Lasso into a Bedlam, but trying to pull him up onto the cliff. They've got the Reality Rift. They might kill off I Love to buy back, which is a good amount of gold going their way, but Tiny dying is a much bigger prize because that slows down the only person farming on the side of the Dire. They're still looking over at Paris. They do have them dusted. Nagato pulled back into Soul. They've got another kill. This Winter's Curse will do some damage, but the Cursed Crown will stop it. So it's actually Dark Willow that makes this feel a little bit worse. They've got the Soulbind, but it's not going to connect to Taz. This is a Dark Willow that can't do anything because he's dead. You've got Winter Wyvern that can't do anything because they don't have farm and they're dead. And DK surviving, able to get out. He's got 21 charges anyway.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 will fall, and they're going to take Tormentor. Wisdom Rune coming up in just a second, so they're going to steal that as well, making Jordan's life even harder. As
this is the big timing that you want, too. The
Yeah.
20-21 minute where you take the tower, take the Wisdom Rune, take the Tormentor. It's such a big amount of gold that's available on the map for you. And now Spirit Breaker is saying, oh, they're all at my base. I should be able to take their Wisdom Rune. Unfortunately, they TP'd back. And if I was Spirit Breaker, I would have thought that Phantasm was that they saw me.
He doesn't care. Just gonna use it to farm now. It's an easy walk in the park for Soul. They're getting another kill on Grim. I think this is where Scorp Smurf died the third time in a row. This is the only kill that Jordan seemed to be able to get. But also...
he's not the one with net worth.
Exactly. He's the lowest net worth on the server. He doesn't care.
He's the lowest one.
Radiant structures.
No tears for no net worth. Gosh, man. It's so much of a struggle.
Jumping in.
Oh boy, lasso.
Nice.
Okay. They've got the Cyclone. It's onto the Winter Wyvern. They looked for the Terrorize off screen. They Avalanche Toss. They do kill the DK. That's good gold to get. And that Orchid Burn will kill the Winter Wyvern. They don't even have to look at guys dying. Cool guys don't look at kills. And then a Cyclone, Shadow Realm,
Is
and
out.
a TP out. Yeah.
That's good. Finally, a good trade. Yes, you still lost your offlaner, but again, this Winter Wyvern could be as well as support. If Tiny doesn't die and you trade one for one of the big cores of Syria, you are very, very happy with that. Soul, though, says, okay, now let's see what you can do to me, because I really want my creeps to take your tier 2 tower. It's on a sliver of HP, so it will probably end up falling in a matter of seconds, but spots Nagato.
Oh boy. Charge, Phantasm, Soul. They put a Remnant down by the tier 2 tower, so they're able to go over to it. Soul might be in a little bit
Nice.
more than he can chew. A little good of the Reality Rift. Soul trying to survive. Splinter
1v4.
Blast, Bedlam. Now they've got the Nether Strike. They're all trying to go. They'll kill Soul, but how much will it cost them? That's the biggest question, because they're going in with a Cinder Brew. They've got themselves this Flame Break. They'll kill off I Love to Buyback, but there's the Soulbind. The Phantom's Embrace. The Ink Swell is there. They'll kill off Valyrian, and they'll take out Paris. So yeah, you killed 2, but you lose 4 again, and it's just numbers-wise not great. And I was going to say, you know, the net worths aren't awful for the 2, 3, 4 of the Dire, but the Radiant net worths are so inflated, so high, that those net worths don't feel good at all.
And that trade, which was a very one-sided trade numbers-wise, still allowed the Dire side to get 1,600 gold, and Syria with 2,000 gold. So only a 400 gold exchange positive for the Radiant, despite getting more kills. That's what happens with Dota 2. It's the rubber band effect. When you play from behind, even if you get less kills in a trade, you are still getting extra, or, you know, coming out on the plus side of things. As we see Tiny, right? We know how strong Tiny can be, and we saw him do a lot of good work in that team fight, getting to just whack everybody with a tree grab. And now he's only a recipe away from having the BKB.
The biggest issue is that Batrider can still hold Lasso for that BKB.
Yeah. And they still have a Grimstroke with a Soulbind.
Yeah, Pierce's debuff immunity as well. Both those spells do. And now Soul, he's got an Aegis, so he doesn't mind playing hyper aggressive. Batrider also going for Yules. He's got so much gold. He's as farmed as this mid Taz Ember, who does have the Maelstrom now after this Mage Slayer, and he's going into the BKB.
I mean, at least this is going to accelerate his farm if they can hold on to their towers.
If they can
longer.
farm.
Yeah. Look at their
Slice
pillow.
there. Soul doesn't have the Inkswell landing, but they go to the Lasso. They've got the Orchid. They'll get the kill, and I Love to buy back, but now a double silence, the Phantom's Embrace and the Soulbind. They'll go after Valyrian, and unfortunately, this isn't Game of Thrones. He's not built like Valyrian Steel. He's built like anything that is probably the close opposite. This is going to turn into 4 heroes dead if Taz can't get out, and luckily he's got a Remnant to leave with.
3 for 1. And 43 to 18, it's a hell of a scoreline pickup, right? It's a
42
huge
kills in 25
deficit.
minutes is insane. That's a game's worth of kills.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what's happening to Jordan. They definitely don't look like themselves today. And if they are having a bit of an off day, it's a pretty bad timing to have one, right? You need to show up. This is a very short qualifier. If you lose 2 games in a bad day, you just didn't wake up or didn't sleep properly, you will suffer a lot, and the rest of your country's season will look very, very dire, as right now they have no more outer towers. It's going to be only the tier 3s and barracks standing between Syria and, well, getting closer to the Ancient.
Winter's Curse used.
Why?
Charge in. He still has Aegis though. Soulbind. The blink in. The avalanche. The stop. He needs to Yules. He can't survive. They're diving in a little bit too far. You need to be careful. They do have Primal Split. They do have that Radiance. He does have a Manta that charges in onto that Storm Panda. They look over the Dark Will. They'll get that. They've taken the tier 3. They're going to lose at least one of the Pandas for now.
Soul's hitting
but
the
he
towers.
Does have that shard.
Charge.
Now back to form. They've left him. They've left him the Cursed Crown. He's going to die. Why have they dove this far?
Oh, they're finally getting punished. Where's the
They're
Dragon
getting
Knight?
punished heavily. But the Phantasm, the Orchid, the Terrorize, tried to dodge
Beautiful.
it. That was almost close enough to get the dodge. DK is in. They've got the Bramble Maze down. Soul's in trouble. He'll get low. They'll try to TP out, but they lose everybody.
Team wipe.
It's a hold. It's a full hold.
Team Jordan managed to hold up their base as they tell Syria, you shall not pass, and they don't. That was also the Aegis. All the time when the Brewmaster was trying to create space in the tier 4 towers, Soul was focused on hitting the tier 3, but didn't manage to convert even into a range rack. So in the end, they get punished because a lot of their spells were used early. DK arrived for the party way too late, didn't use Dragon Form, had to use BKB just to TP out of there and still died. That was the 9-second BKB. Jordan might have just done it here, Peacock, if they can mount this into some sort of momentum, not necessarily getting big objectives, but killing a tower, maybe getting your own Tormi if it wasn't taken. It might just give you more of a gold boost, as I'm already looking. That was a 7,000 gold swing. As this fight
that was a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of gold being taken by getting kills on the Brew that gave 1,700 gold, getting a kill onto DK that gave 1,100, giving a kill onto CK that gave 1,200. Even getting the kills onto the Bat Rider was worth 1,000, and so was this Grimstroke. So a lot of gold going their way. I do think that this is still securely in Syria's hands. They just have to get the next Aegis, and I think now they're waiting a while for that, which gives them a chance to farm on Jordan. But I do feel as though they are one fight away from breaking in, open the base, so way harder. The fights are just happening across the river, and as long as they're still there, and if Syria wins them across the river, it is very much a problem for the Dire.
There's an amplified damage down bottom river. Let's see if
which might be enough for them to fight.
They're not spotting it. They're going up top. They saw the Ember with the Observer Ward on the cliff in the jungle, and DK's going for it.
They have the lasso. He's dead. They've got Inksaw to follow this up. There's no way for him to survive. And now he's dead for 50, no buyback. And again, these fights happen across the river. Every time there's a fight that they win like this in this area, it means that, oh, by the way, tier 3 token, you don't want to leave. But it means that the pressure can be much more. Amplify damage is there for another 45 seconds if somebody wants to grab it.
I think the Dragon Knight and Bat Rider just got spotted. They just put an Observer on top of the triangle cliff, and the DK just gets it right away.
Tier 3 token still sitting in the jungle that they got while they were killing off Ember.
Massive mistake.
Gonna be the difference maker in this one.
It's the comeback mechanic. That's what they Jordan needed. Forget about a tier 3 neutral token for Syria. But look at this Tiny. Okay, he wants to go for some sort of damage. Might it be the MKB, the Daedalus? We don't quite know yet. Nice, forcing a TP back. The lasso is also in cooldown, and Life to buyback will not catch the Tiny.
Tiny is going for that Silver Edge upgrade again. It doesn't take up a slot. You might as well grab it, but
I may have wanted them to go for something else and just get rid of the stick. It's not even a wand. They'll try to get stalled. They've got the Cursed Crown. That's purged off thanks to the Phantasm. BKB's going to be popped by Taz. They'll go for the Terrorize, which lands on the CK, and he is in trouble. The Soulbind is too late. The CK is dead. The double lasso is here, but isn't in time. The BKB's been popped by this DK. Do they have the damage? They will to at least get Taz. The Winter's Curse controls up 3. But Bat Rider is still here. They've dusted. They'll charge. The Ink Swell is out. They're Force Staff onto the high ground next to I Love to Buyback. They get the gun of the Spirit Breaker. The Flame Break is there. The TPS, the Silence, the right click, and he's dead.
Lizard shows up with a final right click at the very last moment. He was very close to getting out of there, but right now, 3 for 1. Still, taking the carry out is good, but if you have this Dragonite alive with half of Dragon Form alive, he can melt your tier 3s.
So 10,000 net worth lead again. Brew, you got to remember, this guy takes towers very quickly. He can take buildings at the speed of light. And they've got Valyrian looking for a kill with that Silver Edge, but that buyback's now kind of worthless for the Winter Wyvern as they don't get anybody on it.
I think if you're Syria, you see that your cores can die in these skirmishes as the bigger items have started to come up for Jordan. So what you should do is probably wait for the next Roshan. And then once you get that on your Chaos Knight, commit to having the team fight. Also, this Winter Wyvern has a full Hurricane Pike now at 2,500 gold away from getting the Aghanim Scepter to do even more damage in team fights. But surprisingly, no BKB yet on the CK. We thought he's not really gonna die, so he has the Heart of Tarask, but we did see him get punished for that.
So now he's slowed down. Like I said, Roche is probably the big timing for them to just get on and go. We'll see what they can get in terms of a respawn timer, if it's going to be something beneficial.
Does Paris almost have Aghanims? Because if that's the quick buy, he's got a point booster, which is 80 gold away from.
Yes, it is. He's got the courier at the secret shop.
That's amazing. An Aghanim Scepter on the Spirit Breaker. It's not going to be necessarily game breaking, but having the Planner Pocket might be really interesting to see how the next couple of team fights will unfold. As she's also going to get level 18, so it's going to lower the cooldown even more of the Nether Strike very, very soon. He could turn some team fights around with a couple of unfortunate charges or bashes that Syria might be caught off guard with. But it's a fast Roche timer. Look at it, 30 seconds, B-Cop.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because what that allows Syria to do here is pressure for a tower, get the TPs back off, go Roche.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's going to be there only for a minute and a half when it respawns, so they're going to have to make that decision pretty quickly. But they're mid. They've found themselves Paris, and that doesn't slow down the Ags because he's already got it. But Planar Pocket, we'll see if that is the game changer for him. Planar Pocket's solid. It used to be the Shard, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
But now as Ags, hopefully, you see a little bit of an upgrade to it. And it's
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's a lot of single target spell casting, so it should be good.
Yeah. I think it could really work out well for them, but again, I don't want to say 100% sure. It could also not do anything because there's also a lot of split damage here, and if you get soul blinded with someone else, but you're not the main target, the Barrel Drum is also hold still. So you throw that on top of the Dark Willow, you get too close to the Dark Willow, Planar Pocket doesn't really resolve that. So, it's counter for counter to some extent, but now the Aegis will get claimed again. It's also going to be the second one, so the banner will be available for the next push if Syria wants to use it. But they're pinging their triangle as they're TPing back to the tier 1 top and to the Radiant triangle. There's so much vision from the Radiant side that I feel like Jordan needs a gem.
They do, but they've just been dying. They have a gem, by the way, on the Dire. Oh. They have it on the Dark Willow.
That was Grimstroke's gem. Which is going to be, you still have to get out there to D-ward. Which is tough.
I mean, they didn't even D-ward the cliff in their own jungle, and they were there. So I don't know what spots they checked with the Gem of True Sight, because that's... You play 2K MMR pubs and you see players just check that cliff, putting a sentry there. So if you have a gem, you should have looked for it.
All right, man. Don't talk about my pubs. Please, stop. Come on.
But we did see the Observer expire, so I guess that's a good side. Because they don't need an Observer anymore. They've invaded the jungle completely yet again. Now, Jordan playing 12k behind the top set of racks are exposed from that previous Aegis fight. That was their first successful victory for Jordan, so they just need to, well, replicate that. But now they've got more tools, including the Silver Edge on Valerian.
What Syria needs to do is not pull another LGD and dive the tier 4s.
Yeah. So don't do what you just did to lose that fight.
Lasso, that's on a Valerian. That's somebody you can't afford to lose. They'll go to the Terrorize. They've got the Soulbind, though. Primal Split's going to be available in a second. They get the Code of the Dark Oil. They use the Witch's Curse. It's going to be onto this CK, but not a lot of damage being done to him. They've got the Cyclone, the Dragon Tail onto the Spirit Breaker, the Force Staff by this Winter Wyvern onto this Tiny, but the chase is there. They'll get the Cone of Valerian. He does not have buyback. And without buyback on these two heroes, especially on the Tiny, holding is going to be so difficult. They've got the Orchid, Cold Embrace. It feels like it doesn't truly matter. They've got silences to follow up, but he gets into the Slight. Now they're doing some serious damage. The Winter's Curse, they've got the Nether Strike, the charge across, the CK though still alive, Ela dies, down goes the Spirit Breaker, and it's just the Ember.
Nobody died. Absolutely. Every single player on Syria still standing. Yes, some of them, granted, are a bit low in it, but that doesn't matter. 2 full sets are falling. They want to hit the tier 4s. I don't know what the DK is doing. He's going to join them in a moment. Ember Spirit is alone. No teammates for at least 30 seconds. 45 final you'll be used, but the tier 4, first tier 4 will fall. B-Cop, this is the GG getting called out. Yeah, even the Lasso to finish it off. What a performance from Syria. And with that being said, Jordan, right now, they can only hope for a tiebreaker to fight for that second place, because otherwise that means their dreams of playing at the World Esports Championships or even Chengdu are gone. And this is a team that made it last year, I believe, all the way to top 10 in the World Esports Championships. So we might not even see them play in the Asian qualifiers.
Yeah, this is a rough one here for Jordan, unfortunately. And I just think that it puts them in a bad way. Though I will say, Iran, they were losing. They were down 12,000 net worth, which would have given them, at least Team Jordan, a better shot. But they have pulled it back, Team Iran. They were down 12k, and now that game is even between them and Lebanon. And it feels as though Lebanon are fighting for their lives in that game as well. It's tough. It really is tough. So we've got some highlights for you, which there's going to be a lot of, because there was 78 kills in 37 minutes.
Wow. It all started before the first bounty runes. It was -1 minute when this skirmish happened. The
3 kills.
The target focus from the Dire was definitely not there, right? Like, we see the Bat Rider low HP, and then they didn't finish him off because they couldn't catch him. They turned onto the Brewmaster, who is a very beefy boy, even at level 1. And then it kept going worse and worse from there, as we see this top lane, putting pressure. And I gotta say, Bat Rider position 4 was completely game-breaking for the first 15 minutes.
It's the fact that it was so aggressive that really made it feel as though that this hero got out of control. He was level 6 so quickly. I have never really seen a Bat Rider be so fast to level 6. Truthfully, I've never really seen both supports of a team be like level 8, I want to say, before 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That is absurd amount of experience happening. That is an absurd amount of aggression going on and just non-stop. At 18 kills in 8 minutes. You're averaging over 2 kills a minute right now.
Feels unfathomable, right? I mean, if we wouldn't have just witnessed it, and you would have just told me the story, I was like, nah, that can't have happened. Come on. But it did happen. And this tells me that Syria is a very prepared team for this tournament. Right now, they are up 2-0. And yeah, what else is there to say? They look like a prime contender to get that second place, even if they might lose later on versus Iran. Second place still takes you to Chengdu, and that's what you want to do. That's where you want to show up, and that's where you're fighting the big dogs. You might face the likes of Team China, the European squads that might make it over there. And, you know, I think Syria has the tools that they need to go there. Like, look at the way they played in this game. Again, versus Jordan, a team with quite a few experienced players, and they really reduced them to not a lot.
Yeah, it was really tough for them to get back into the game, and they showed some showings of coming back in, but ultimately at the end of the day, they were just overwhelmed by the ban-lading stage that they had that allowed the side of Syria to just jump down their throats, truthfully. This was 31 kills at 18 minutes. Like, the highlights go on and the kills don't stop. It's insane. It truly is just so ridiculous. And it puts Syria in a good spot to qualify. They're 2-0. And if Iran loses to Lebanon, it puts them in an even better spot, because that would mean that would mean Jordan are 0-2, Iran's 1-1. Usually it's 3-1 to get through. It'd be, and you've played, seemingly for Syria, you've played one of the hardest teams in Jordan. Your next step is beating Iran, who feel like the next team up.
If these victories, you're 100% through. I don't see a way where you have 3 victories and there's a tiebreaker at this point. Unless there's 3 teams, that lose 2 games and then that they win the other 3. No, mathematically that doesn't make sense. No, it's 3 teams and 1 loss. 3 wins and 1 loss. As I gotta ask you a little bit about the draft, Bcop. What did you think in the end of this core Winter Wyvern? Because I feel the reason you take Wyvern is because you want it to be an absolute destroyer in the 10 to 20 minute mark, and I feel like we didn't really see that.
I want to say it was one of his go-to picks, if I recall correctly. It's like one of those comfort picks for him. Mm-hmm. But just there, it did not work, unfortunately, and it didn't get away with anything because the lane was so difficult. And I don't know if that was completely on him, but Syria absolutely pressuring so heavily made his life very difficult. And unfortunately, you can't really expect a Bat Rider to be, first of all, in this clip, a higher level than him, but to be everywhere all at once. It really did feel like this Bat Rider was everywhere. And with the early 6 and you not having 6 for so long, your chances of doing much in the game are slim.
Yeah, it was diminished from the get-go. And we see now one of the final fights, if not the absolute last one, when everybody died and it was only the Ember Spirit still standing. It Taz trying to do as much damage as possible here, barely surviving, getting a Sleight of Fist off. While the Winter Wyvern was getting pulled back into that. In the end, the Fire Remnant was getting the Ember away.
And he got the BKB, yeah.
It was quite tragic to see, right? Because in previous years, Jordan has always put up a good fight. And it's because their team was so good in the last few years that probably forced the rest of the nations in the region to practice and get better at Dota for the next coming tournaments. And we saw it today. Back-to-back teams upsetting Jordan. Okay, maybe game 1 wasn't an upset, but I would say this one, they should have been the favorites, or at least they should have had a close game. And they never really got going, as we see right now the recap of the stats that we have from all 10 players and the damage. My goodness, I don't think they played these heroes, but these are some great numbers nonetheless.
Yeah, the damage is up there. It was just very tough for the side of Jordan to get anything going, unfortunately. And you just, I just don't know. I don't know what else there is to say for Jordan, except you hope that maybe they find a way into getting into the top spot, which, and another live update here. Lebanon's up 7,500 net worth. They have taken back a lead. They've broken the high ground. They got the tier 3 mid. So maybe, just maybe, they can pull off a victory there over the side of Iran, which gives Jordan some hope.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
have to see.
I'm glad that I get to see a bit of an in-depth look at that. But yeah, congratulations to Syria for a very, very strong performance and showing as their first game on stream right now, BCOP. And hopefully they can manage to carry on this momentum and give us a hell of a fight versus Iran, right? That's what we want to see. We got to have a few competitive squads going head-to-head, battling it out till the very end, even though they will most certainly both qualify at this current moment in time for the AEC Chengdu. And BCOP, while we look and wait at to go to our break before the next match, looking at the teams that have already made Chengdu, other than China, of course, who we know are the heavy favorites most likely, which one of the other squads do you think will be a contender for that 2nd to 4th slot?
The Philippines, if they keep that execration lineup, and I would say Kyrgyzstan as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Malaysia, truthfully.
So despite Uzbekistan playing relatively well yesterday, you don't think they have what it takes to maybe break into the top 4?
I think Kyrgyzstan, it will be tough if they get their 2 players back.
Yeah.
It does come down to that. It does come down to whether or not they get themselves back Zayat. If he comes in the mix, I do like Seneko. I think that Uzbekistan is definitely going to give a run for their money, but it will be a little bit difficult if they do get those players back, because it was supposed to be Kami and Zayat. If they come back, we could see that be a lot stronger there for Kyrgyzstan. Uzbekistan, they look strong. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. It's going to be close.
I think it will be interesting to say the least, right? And it depends what team China is fielding. I know you and Black talked about this. Me and Black had a conversation as well this morning about who we'd like to see on the roster. But because I believe Chengdu is in similar time with TI this year, a lot of the big famous Chinese players, even the ones that didn't make it as players to TI, might just want to go and watch, so they might completely skip it. Although I find that quite hard to believe, because whenever China does field a home team nation, they put some of their best players, because they are, playing for that national pride a lot more than the Western teams.
Yeah, they usually put everything on the line. They have a lot of players that can do crazy things here for that roster. But again, it's up in the air on whether or not we're going to see that. So it's something they should hopefully announce closer to the event, which team we're going to see. And I'm wondering who we're going to see from here, because right now it is Syria at the top, and they stand alone at 2-0 for the moment. But it looks like that's going to stay that way as I continue to see Lebanon take a further and further lead.
Oh, are they? Oh, wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, they're up 23,000 now.
Wow. Okay, I think that might just be 23,000. You can come back from it, but it's again a hell of a mountain to climb. As we will also be blessed with an interview in just a few moments, because I'm quite excited to see who we're going to be getting from the Syrian squad, and ask them how comfortable they feel at this moment in time. Right, starting off this qualifier, very, very good. So shall we have them on stream already, Bicop?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's get and introduce Scorp into the mix, as we'll see him in here. Scorp, how you doing? Great win, guys. You overwhelmed them. How's everything going on over there?
Thank you. Yeah, everything going all right. We are trying our best. It wasn't easy, but we were a little bit more prepared, I guess. Like, we were ready for them, and hopefully for the other teams as well.
It seems like you guys are really prepared. You guys played pretty quick and aggressive Dota in that game. Is that usually your style, to play that fast and definitely killer kind of style?
Yeah, I mean, it's always our style to play fast Dota. Just if we won our lanes, game went okay on lane. That means we can take advantage of it and snowball in the game.
Okay. Were you worried about the Winter Wyvern at all? Because that's not a pick we see too much of, and in a core role, it can be abusive, but it didn't seem so there.
Yeah, we were actually worried because the high ground were tough for us. If you realized on the top side, we kind of messed up because we were like a little bit hype, I guess. We lost positioning and we lost the team fight and we got wiped, but we could recover and we knew like already the game already over at some point. It was a mistake, but it wasn't killing mistake. Like, needed more mistakes, maybe we could just lose the game. But luckily we won.
Definitely waxing you up.
Of course, Scorp, first of all, congratulations for your 2 victories already today. You look very good as a squad and getting closer and closer to qualifying for Chengdu. My question is, how does it feel for you to play representing your home nation?
I mean, it feels awesome actually because it wasn't easy. We had to really prepare very much. We had some difficulties like with internet connections and with some internal issues in the team, but we overcome everything and we tried to play some scrims. We tried to improve in the waiting time to the tournament start, and we are here trying to prove ourselves.
Fabulous. Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to watch you. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right, have a good day, Scorp. It's been great. What a great, solid squad there. As it does feel like Syria is towards the top, and I do have an update once again.
Yep.
Lebanon's won. They won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, you could say, Peacock, because at this point, that means even there's 3 teams still with a potential to fight for this one. Because I assumed Iran would win, which would have made them pretty much guaranteed a slot. But now that means there's still a lot to play for, even if you are on Jordan's side and you're down 0-2.
Yeah, it's if you lose. If Syria gets that win and Iran's got 2 losses, that gives Jordan new life. There's a lot going on here, but we'll have to see. We're going to be going to a quick break. We'll be seeing you for the next BO1. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. We are here with Iesf Asia. We're in the West Asia qualifiers right now. You just saw Syria beat Jordan, and off-stream, Lebanon beat Iran. So things are getting a little bit tight towards the middle of the pack, where now Syria, they're going to be playing Iran on the off-stream, but we've got Lebanon, Qatar, and Lebanon going to be looking to get a second win under their belt, because if they get a second win and all of a sudden you see Iran win, and then you've got 3 teams at 2-1, it could be very, very, very close. It's going to be fun. Lebanon, Qatar, it'll be interesting because Qatar did lose to Syria in 24 minutes.
Wow. I mean, a lot of these games have been really one-sided. Pre-minute 30, definitely pre-minute 25. Let's be honest here, B-Cop. And it doesn't surprise me, right? We have so big differences in skills and experience between these squads, especially when, we're still on a rather new patch. 736 came out about a month and a half ago, and even 736C now, less than a week. So the teams that have just more time at their hand to practice and prepare for this tournament, obviously, will have the upper hand. I assume a lot of these players still have a day job or school and other commitments, so they can't invest as much time into practicing for these qualifiers as some of the other teams who might have the luxury of being, at least semi-pro at Dota and allow themselves more time to maybe even bootcamp for this. Earlier today, we saw the likes of Nepal. They had a few internet connections and 4 players were dropping at the same time, which tells me that they were probably on a bootcamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or the internet in the area goes out. Some of these areas in which you find the Dota players are so small that there's an internet flux, and all of a sudden everybody's dealing with it. We've seen it in the past, especially with up-and-coming regions, so it's definitely a possibility, but we'll see what happens, because it's looking like Lebanon, in my eyes, should be able to take this game pretty quickly. Qatar didn't have the best showing in game number 1, but I guess that's a very small sample size to go off of. But Lebanon, they beat Iran in their first game, and that's huge. That's a big show up there.
We take a quick look at the roster of the Lebanese squad. We've got Savior, Russell, Nans, Freaky, and Easy Legacy, which is a hell of a nickname and a statement in itself, right? What's your name? Easy Legacy? Does that mean you're going to have an easy legacy? Your legacy is going to be easy to be remembered? I don't know, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, it definitely does. And, we've got that roster ready to go, and they are going to be going up against this Qatari lineup. And we'll see really what they can put up. Let's meet these guys a little bit, because we haven't seen them on the stream just yet. Ika, Rafiki, Aboud, the F, which is apparently a big Mina thing to do, the something. But Dante and Mad Snail. I don't know. Maybe you're taking Mad Snail as the, that, hey, would you like to win $1 million, but you always have a snail chasing you? Is that the Mad Snail? And if the snail touches you, you die. I don't know if you've ever heard that one before, the what ifs.
Yep.
But would you take, $10 million, but there is a snail chasing you? If it makes contact, you die?
Yes.
You'd take that?
Yes. Do I know the snail starting point?
No.
Still yes.
Okay.
Still yes.
Fair enough. You all of a sudden you live in an area that's just littered with snails that are getting into your apartment. You don't know which one is going to take you out. So you start putting trackers on every single snail. You move across the world and you hope, because, maybe the snail tricks you, because maybe the snail wins something in his life that would be great if he does get you. It might be a snail that is mad to kill you. You never know.
How smart do you think snails are, Bikov? Like, does the snail know that its aim is to get me?
I think in this sense, the snails know.
Okay.
They do know. It's a mad snail.
Would you take it? Because I still think yes.
I don't know if I would take the complete. I don't know, because can you have complete? Can you take the complete cover from this snail? Like, if you were to put yourself in a base, and
yes,
lock it down, can the snail still get in? Does he just know to go through the air vents? Does this snail have the feeling that he's gonna drop down from the air vent, land on your face, and that's it? You're gone in your sleep. I don't know if I would take it because I don't think you get to live a life. I don't know if you get to live a life with that snail now chasing you.
I reckon $10 million or 10 million anything. Okay, maybe not like whatever Norwegian crowns. That's not that much money, but $10 million, let's say, or pounds or euros, would be life-changing money. If not for me, for the rest of my family. So even if the snail gets me, like, I guess the money just doesn't dissipate into thin air. I'll be more than happy to let my mom have what's left after the snail gets me.
All right, fair enough. That's fair. I'll give you that. But we'll see if the mad snail is the mad snail here, and we'll have to see if Lebanon and Qatar are as close of a matchup as we've seen previously in the other games, because Lebanon and Syria felt close. Iran felt better than Jordan. Syria felt better than Jordan. So I'm not sure. I'm really worried to see what's coming from these teams if it's going to be one-sided, because this is a big matchup. Again, for Lebanon to win this, it really puts everybody at a close little standstill, which would be very interesting.
It's also quite different that, every other region, depending on how many teams they have, it's a best of 3 or a best of 1. I truly believe that if here for the Western region, we would have gotten best of 3s, some of these results might have looked completely different in the end, right? We might have seen a 25-minute stomp and then the opponents realizing, oh, wait, well, we didn't really focus. Let us get back into our groove and come back into it. Like we saw South Asia just today, best of 3s, it's completely different can of worms. But with that being said, if you want to become the world esports champion, you got to defeat anyone, no matter the format. So to some extent, it depends what side of the fence are you on, Peacock. Do you think best of 1s are not really good for competitive Dota, or do you think there's still a place for them in the current environment of the esports scene?
I mean, I like both. It's definitely tough to really feel out BO1s. They're very pressurized, and I do like a pressurized Dota matchup, whereas BO3s, you do have that way to come back. But I like BO1s because there's a lot more on the line in each one, and I'm very about that. I like when there is this pressure to really make something work, and it kind of doesn't allow you to experiment as much with the draft, but it means you have to be at your best at all times. So I'm here for it.
I think that makes sense. If you want to be the best, you can't just slip every now and then a best of 1 and say, no, I'm still a best. It's just a format that didn't play to my advantage. No, I think that makes sense. It's a pretty safe assessment, as we are now moments away from jumping into this draft, Peacock. And is there any hero you would like to not see at all in this series? Well, series, it's a map, but yeah.
I don't know, maybe the Ember. I'm kind of over that hero.
Makes sense.
I don't think it's really working out for a lot of teams, and I do think that there are other options for mid that might give you better results. We're just not seeing good Ember results, and Beastmaster being banned first is good. We'll see if that Brood gets banned, because it does still feel as though it's getting ignored when it's not banned, and I've heard this hero is supposed to be great.
I hope for us to not see what is the one thing? Tiny. I'm tired of Tiny. Tiny's good. It was entertaining to watch it a few times. First pick Tiny every single game can get a bit repetitive. So how about we don't see that today? Thanks. That would be lovely. Just to end the day. Also, the Darkseer getting banned out as the Beastmaster has. I'm quite happy to see Qatar not wanting to get involved into any of that, as, like I said, those two heroes seem to have the highest win rate in the Iesf Asian qualifiers thus far. Quite curious to see Clockwork being banned very early on from Qatar.
Yeah, it might be something that they know that Lebanon does. Clockwork is still a very, very strong a very strong support. It can be very aggressive and oppressive in lane, so wouldn't be surprising.
Okay,
I like the ban of the Brew, though.
Yeah. Taking out a lot of the offlaners very early on, including the Spirit Breaker in that, which can be played as an offlaner. And the Tiny gets banned. Yes, me. Thank God, no Tiny. But that means, because you banned out the clock, you allowed for a Weaver first pick, which is maybe a mistake.
Yeah, the Weaver is
yeah, I mean,
interesting.
letting the Weaver through, it's a mistake, not picking the Weaver.
Weaver, we've been seeing a lot of support Weaver.
Dire team banned.
We'll see. Pudge early. Interesting.
Me and Black were talking. I feel like in these qualifiers, every single game when someone is running a Pudge, be it 4, 5, or Core for that matter, they seem to just be the best users of meat hook in the history of Dota. Like, everybody seems to just keep landing hooks. It's pretty impressive. So I'm quite curious to see if Qatar can keep the streak of formidable Pudges going, as it's also quite a good hero to deal with Weaver, right? You connect with a meat hook and you throw the dismember while the Weaver is still flying towards you. If it's a support, he just dies.
Yeah, that's if you could get those hooks. We've been seeing some okay Pudges, but this makes the life a little bit easier, and it maybe even leans towards a core Pudge, because we've seen safe lane Pudges before. You could get Pudge in a hoodwink, bushwhack into a hook. It is a lot of good damage. That with like level 2 of Acorn Shot, you're dead on a lot of heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
But also hoodwink, you know, hitting the bushwhack onto an elusive target like Weaver is not the easiest of feats, right? And now the Treant Protector coming out from Lebanon. A lot of lane presence. Obviously, a beefy boy likes getting up there, punching the support of, and even the core on its lane. Has a bit of sustain with the way the new Leech Seed works, like just planting the tree. I like this pick. It's good. It might just be countered by the other 3 heroes that Qatar still has to show. So interested to see how Lebanon is going to pair the Treant up with... because it could be Treant Weaver on the lane, right? It could be 5 Treant and position 1 Weaver, if that's what they want to go for.
Yeah, it could still be both supports here. 5 position Treant, 4 position Weaver. We'll see. Marcy, Rubik band, Windrunner band. There's still that Broodmother. Where's this Brood, you know? How many times are we going to see Brood just not being banned, but allowing itself to not go through? I don't get it. This is triple S tier hero. Give me it. Like, come on. And now we've got Monkey King, which I like. But Monkey King, again, is another flex pick. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be your 1 position. It can be a 4. We have seen players like XinQ use this in the 4 position, go kill your couriers, don't enjoy getting items or anything like that. It's major flex from Lebanon, but sometimes we see these flex lineups become over flexy and they break. And they've allowed to be not the best 1, 2, 3. They're a good 1, 2, 3, and they end up getting overwhelmed.
We also seen Saksa recently play this as a position 4, I think, in the Team Bold's attempts to qualify. Well, actually, in the open qualifiers of Team Bold. And he obviously did pretty good on the hero. I think this Monkey King is actually not the best when you're running into a hoodwink. Monkey usually likes being very, in and out around the supports, but hoodwink, because of the bushwhack, has a lock that catches you when you're in the trees, right? And because it's a bit of an AoE spell, it's quite easy to hit if the hoodwink sees where you're going. At the same time, we have seen Monkey Kings go for the tree dance facet, which lowers the cooldown to make it even harder. But Qatar says, we don't care about that anyway, so we're going to get a Pangolier, who, if this is going to be a mid matchup, right? Monkey King has been played mid historically a few times, can destroy the Pangolier, but then as we start hitting the mid game, the Rolling Thunder completely ruins Monkey King's playground, which is cutting down all the trees by just rolling in them.
Yeah, rolling in them is going to be okay, but once that Wukong's is out, you're in a little bit of trouble, and the combo right now is Wukong's Overgrowth. So you are looking to get that control, keep the Wukongs there, and that could be an issue. The Hoodwink is honestly good against this Treant, who's also going to be walking through the trees if they are in the same lane, because it could still be a 4 Hoodwink, and you go up against that Treant, or it could be a 5 Hoodwink, and you don't go up against that Treant. We'll have to see what they are expected to do, because this Pudge, to me, feels like it could be 5 as well. We've seen players like Undyne in the Chinese qualifiers for TI play a 5-position Pudge. That with Hoodwink, we'll see. They're both lineups. Yeah, the only thing that's is definitely set, and now of course Ursa is set. The only thing that is set prior to that was Treant, and they go Enigma. And again, Enigma could be your offlaner, but Enigma could be your 4-position. So things are still open. I've seen 4-position Enigma with an aggressive offlaner, and it's been an issue before, and they want to get rid of that mid-coddle. So we'll see what they're going for, because there are options like if you want to kite this Ursa, maybe you go OD, you Astro Imprison, you take him out of the fight for a little bit. Ways to kite this Ursa are definitely there. You've got Black Hole, you have Overgrowth, you'd like something new.
Quite surprised. I mean, I feel like I forgot about this hero because nobody else has played it over the last few days, which is insane because Enigma is still S tier. So glad to see Lebanon coming in hot with it. Right now, they're looking really, really good. They have so much team fight, and the Rolling Thunder is good, but like, ooh.
I like this too. Jumps the back line. It's probably going to be mid. It could be safe lane Void Spirit. We've seen teams wanting to try that, but this is reading like it's going to be safe lane Weaver, mid Void Spirit, off lane Enigma, 4-position Monkey King, 5-position Treant Protector. At least from my eyes. But if they wanted to switch, the only switch they could really make is Void 1 and Monkey King mid, but I doubt that. And the Invoker, we'll see if it works. We haven't seen much Invoker. There is potential with Sunstrike with a Bushwhack. That's always a possible answer, but it's going to be mid Void Spirit, and then it will be that off lane Enigma, and it will be the 4-position Monkey King, safe lane Weaver, 5-position Treant Protector, and then the off lane Pango with a mid in safe lane, according to the Qatar lineup, a safe lane Invoker mid Ursa, but I'm doubting that.
No, this is not happening. Although Ursa does destroy Void Spirit mid. Right? So there is that.
There's the Aether Remnant you could deal with, early on. But yeah, melee matchup against Ursa is not going to be that fun.
This is not happening. The Ursa is going safe lane, 100%. I can't believe this would be...
I would say 95%, because Ursa does kind of do well against Void Spirit, but you wouldn't want Invoker safe lane. I just don't think that's good. You want the levels on Invoker.
Yeah, he needs that XP. He needs the tempo. He really wants to get as fast as possible to... I assume what will be a Quas West Invoker here, only because that's a great way of dealing with the Weaver and the Monkey King, and of course canceling the Black Hole before Enigma gets the BKB. So I would say the Invoker is quite a good pick overall, but look at it. Void Spirit is very good at dealing with him. I expect to see Astral Steps jumping on top of the Invoker, and when he is... this Void Spirit will get a hands on the Aghanim Scepter, it's going to be really, really rough time for the Qatar side.
No, and of course, Invoker has that Mastermind. When he denies a lane creep, he gets 25% of that experience, which could be pretty big. I truthfully wouldn't be shocked at Exhort from Invoker, and I only say this because they do have ways to set up Sunstrike early.
Well, we are underway, and I would love to see Matt Snail pop off on the Pudge yet again, like many other Pudges before him in this qualifier. As if the Pudge lands a few early hook shots, meat hooks, even during the laning phase to offset some of these potential imbalances, you've got a lot of good lane dominators for Lebanon, so killing them early or repositioning them under the tower might, turn the tides around in your favor, because realistically speaking, I expect the Invoker to not have the best lane, the Pangolier to get punished by the safe lane of the Dire side, and the Ursa to be the only one that wins the lane, but not in an easy fashion versus the Enigma.
Enigma is rough too, man. Dealing with the Eidolons, dealing with the early Malefice is just such a pain. And he's in that lane with presumably the Monkey King, so Boundless Strike, if you're taking harassment from these Eidolons, you're in trouble. I honestly wouldn't even mind a switch.
Yeah, I think a switch would be really welcome here.
With Monkey King would have been fine too.
I digress. We'll see how this unfolds. Monkey 4 in this scenario is going to be really good at pushing Yersa, and alongside the Eidolons that are going to do so much right-click damage, it's going to be really cool to see how Rafiki tries to sustain himself in this lane.
Probably high on the Primal Spring as well as the Boundless Strike. I would sense that Primal Spring gives you that potential for the slow, gives you Eidolons chances to split here. And they actually won't do so much just yet. But they're going to need 6 hits to multiply. And good Enigma players can make sure that happens every single time.
Yeah. I can read your mind, Peacock. We've not been working a lot together, but I'm already in your head. I know exactly the things you got to go for. Also, this top lane is going to be a bit of an interesting one as well, because there's still potential there. But, oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking bottom. Ika connecting with a Bushwhack on Nans. Like I said, Monkey King does get countered by Hoodwink, especially in the first 15 minutes of the game. So quite curious to see how good Ika is on this Hoodwink, because it's also a slight skill-based hero. Whenever you play in low MMR pubs and you get a Hoodwink on your team, it's usually GG because he can't hit any Bushwhacks. But I expect Ika to have a good
Primal
performance.
Spring here. This might be first blood level 2. Yeah.
Did I just jinx him? Yeah, I think I just did.
Yes. And I will tell you this, I wish that the Bushwhack as Mad Snail dies to Savior. I will say I wish that if you Bushwhack a Monkey King out of his tree, you got that extra tree break stun. I think that would be balanced. You're pulling him out of a damn tree.
Of course.
He should be caught for even more, but I guess that's the benefits of the technicalities of Dota.
Well, now 2 kills already ahead for Lebanon, and look at the last hits. My goodness, doubling or tripling up every single opponent core of the Radiant side, as Qatar is already starting to fall behind in minute 3.
Look, hit on this tree, but the Nature's Grasp. Dante's just kind of sitting in this. They've got the Shikuchi. They might have some extra damage. The right clicks are big from Savior. And now a Blood Grenade. PMA only, though. He'll die, as that was not even with another hook. They have it available to pull in Savior and get 2 kills. Overplaying their hand massively there. The shield crash really helping Dante out.
Hey, if it works out with yours at the
bottom lane, Rafiki, he's dead. And Ika has to be careful too. You're able to play so aggressively with Primal Spring, and now the Eidolon's getting stronger, but the Malefice too.
Is Rafiki not a Lion King character? Rafiki.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm right. Yeah, that is correct. It's a mandrill. Oh, okay. Imagine if it was a bear like yours, so that would have been very cool. Anyway, up top, PMA is doing a lot of damage.
Dante still has shield crash here. You got to be careful going into that. And it gives you this false sense of security when you're trying to get that kill. Yeah, Rafiki is the mandrill who picks up Simba and shows him to the world.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, nice meat hook attempt right top of, but Mad Snail will not connect with that one. Do you think this Invoker will be going for a Midas here, or is he going to go for the Vessel Orchid type build?
Vessel wouldn't be terrible. I don't mind it. If you think this game's going to go long, though, maybe you get that Midas. Right now, it feels as though Dire can play pretty aggressively, and they get a kill in a Mad Snail. Meanwhile, bottom, there was that stun onto the Monkey King, but the Boundless Strike, the Malefice, and the Eidolons, Rafiki's in trouble and dead to a neutral creep. Unfortunate that they pulled the Centaur camp, but a double Bushwhack won't change anything.
That was the boundless strike that procced the centaurs to come and steal the neutral. And yes, you don't get the gold on Lebanon's side, but
So he's the support.
yeah, and killing the core is fine anyway. What is happening this top lane though? Weaver is completely annihilating. 24 and 12 denies. And PMA died once, but still they find mid.
Ursa's struggling heavily, man. Easy Legacy, he's going to be able to survive, but I get a little confused because Easy Legacy is also on the sponsorship part of Savior's name. The Treant Protector.
It's like it's his friend, right? You know, he's like giving him a shout
I'm
out.
sponsored by my mid. He boosted me. I'm not saying that actually happened, guys. Relax. It's just a joke. Please. Nobody's getting boosted.
I mean, you were telling me about that cuddle mid that Black, had in that show match. I'm just saying.
Did I get it? Good boy. There's a difference between getting carried and boosted.
That is
I
true.
got
That is
carried.
fair enough.
I also got first one. Tornado. Oh, Easy Legacy. Simulate to try and get some distance. And now Nans is in a little bit far where Mad Snail does have the ability to get a hook if he wants it, but never throws it. And still going. Ooh, Boundless Strike. There's the hook off the trees. But the Astral Step means they're going to get one. Ika's dead bottom. Aether Remnant to Simulate. 7-2. Good cleanup there by the side of Lebanon.
And there's more action happening up top. 1 level advantage, PMA only. The pursuit.
Dante, he doesn't have Shield Crash. And there's another Shikuchi in 3 seconds if you wanted to dive it. Oh no.
Radiant's
the Monkey
middle
King.
tower is under attack.
I'm just a tree.
They just want the wisdom right now.
For now, but they're bringing over the Weaver to try and punish. Just in case. Oh no, Dante! Ay. Swashbuckle? Okay. Tree Dance in a second. No way he goes for this, right? Yeah, just leave him alone. Bottom
Even
lane,
zoning him out is enough.
Ursa, as well as the Invoker, here to try and get the kill into Russell, but they'll lose Rafiki, and now here comes the Treant Protector. They've got the Leech Seed. This is a dead Invoker. Both kills going their way. Ika's dead as well. 3 more kills for Lebanon. Oh dear, man. It is blowing up quick, man. It is just going horribly.
Tower is under attack.
There was a level 6 Invoker attempting a rotate bottom. Please don't ever do that again. As Mad Snail
God.
gets caught.
This is a repeat of the last game.
I feel like a lot of the games this tournament have ended up this way, which is quite tragic to see.
For you.
It's true,
For
true.
you.
A lot of my games this tournament have gone this way.
The only rough day was day 1. I had 4 or 5 50-plus minute games in a row. And I say rough for me, but rough for the players too. This Ursa's level 4, dude. Oh, God. Tango also might be dead. They'll bring Ika in. Oh, hook?
Nice hook. It's level 3
Easy like,
though.
oh, the Bushwhack misses. Invoker's here. The Tornado. Oh, the Dissimulate. The Resonant Pulse. The Aether Remnant. He's cleaning up Ika.
He's got it.
Oh. No,
Yes.
Easy Legacy's now dead.
Nice.
That's a good amount of gold, though. And unfortunately, it's going to your 5-position Pudge.
Mid hook.
There's still a time lapse. He could definitely just juke you with this.
Good dust though.
Doesn't go to the bridge. He doesn't want to put himself in a straight line for the hook. So again, he's going to fight this until he's forced into needing the time lapse. What?
It happened.
Weaver! What are you doing?
It did happen.
All right, PMA only. I'm sorry, Weaver. It was okay. It was just a mistake. I'm not biased. I just expected more.
2 massive
disappointed.
kills. Very massive kills. As I say that, they're jumping on
Rafiki,
Rafiki.
man. Oh, gosh.
This is the
He's
poorest
not
horse
having
side.
That Astro Step actually missed, so he's alive because of it. Yeah,
We'll
Ursa
try
has
the
less
next.
than the Monkey King. Tornado EMP. Does he have Dissimulate? Yes, he does. He'll avoid it. Now he goes to the back lines, gets the kill.
Enigma's here.
Wukong's command. They do have Black Hole if they want it, but they don't have a way in.
Ursa is almost getting out-farmed by the Treant Protector as well, but
Oh.
Mid hook connects.
Malefis, dead. Rolling Thunder into an overgrowth. This sets up a black hole, but he's going to pull the Pangolier into himself with the black hole, which stops it thanks to the Rolling Thunder. That's the problem with this rotating black hole. I mean, you still get this kill on a Dante. This is 10 minutes in. It's an 8,000 net worth lead. What is happening, man?
This is the definition of Dante's Inferno, and I think that's what the book
which
is about.
circle are we in?
The very end one. I don't even know. We should probably ask the Pangolier. He'll tell us all about it because Dante's having a rough game. I'm looking at the net worth, and Monkey King is actually overtaking the Invoker as we speak. The only hero on the Radiant side not out-farmed completely by the MK is the Pangolier.
Okay.
For now.
Yet. This is the worst start we've had so far.
It's 4:20 at minute 10.
Hell yeah. This is a level 8 position for Monkey King. Oh, gosh. It's like they're fighting over where's the root. Guys, you have 3 minutes. Stop. All right, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. What am I watching?
I really thought that the Wukong's command is just a better facet, but after seeing this game right here, I think I've changed my mind. Tridan's facet is OP.
Yeah, 90% health, no cooldown.
Hook?
No. Now EMP. They'll get this. They'll get this Enigma. They have no way to heal it up. And it's worth 1,200 gold. That's the crazy thing. But the Eidolons. Oh, brother. Man, Stale, man, you're dead too. I'm sorry. Oh, he still has 90% health. He still gets to jump. This is so stupid. I think he's dead to the Weaver off camera. Oh my god.
This might be the fastest GG I've casted in the last.
Hey, they still have to call it. Relax.
Years. Okay, I'm just saying the fastest GG I called. I think was 14:54. So there's about 2.5 minutes if they do call it. Would you call it B-Cop? Let's say you're playing for the Qatar team right now. Would you call GG?
I've already said end fast, walk down mid, please push towers. Come on, who do you think I am? Not toxic?
Dota Plus is what they have a 1% chance somehow. I don't know what that win condition is or like the probability. Because I don't think Lebanon. I see. They're forfeit the game off stream, off game.
Yeah.
Why is Dante rushing an Aghanim Scepter? Well, rushing it. I mean, he's prioritizing it. He's not rushing it in any sort of imagination. He has one piece of it.
Why not? He's got the one piece that could turn into Diffusal. Let's be real.
Yeah, please do that. If he's going for Ags, he's not finishing the item at this point. Oh, the Roshan. Wait, what? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yes, it is Monkey King.
Oh, wait, what? How did I not know of this interaction? This is phenomenal.
All right. Can we just have Can we take a camera bottom, please? I need to see this Roche pushing bot.
What is happening? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Roshan's coming for a base. Look at Ika running away from it.
We've become League of Legends, I'll tell you that much. Like, this is Scuttle Crab equivalents. Top lane, PMA's here, Astral Step, Rafiki. He's got the Enrage, but isn't going to matter. He'll try to get some damage out, but the Balance Strike is there. That stops the Dismember. They'll take out Mad Snail. 2 heroes dead. The TP from Dante. He'll get to escape, but it is now a 12,000 net worth lead.
The amplified damage rune from Easy Legacy doing a lot of work in that team fight. 1,300 damage dealt by Voice Spirit.
14-minute Wisdom Rune, okay. For my 4-position Monkey King, who's almost level 10. Ursa, level 7.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look at the XP chart. They are for 12 levels ahead, 50% more XP on the Dire side than the Radiant one.
That's insane. I have never seen that before. All right,
Ika?
Wukong's from behind the tower. Ika's dead. How much of a slaughter are you willing to take, though? That's the real question. Primal Spring, I've got 90% health. I can still go. Overgrowth is there. Dismember stops. Double kill for PMA only. And he's got Deso, he's got Falcon Blade, he's on his way to a Dragon Lance, and they are pushing these tier 2s already. They got the tier 2 bottom with the Eidolons. Deso
Black
taking
hole.
towers quicker.
There's a
Meteor
black hole
Hammer as
bottom.
well. Oh boy, Black Hole.
Gets out? Yes? Rafiki is beelining for Rustly. I don't... He's a level 7
He doesn't have
Ursa.
Black Hole, I can get levels.
I don't think you can kill the Enigma. You're level 7 Ursa 15 minutes in the game.
Oh, Rafiki, don't show bottom.
Why are you there? He has... Wait a minute. The Ursa has an arcane ring. Excuse me?
He needs the mana. He needs to be able to get his Fury Swipes off and his Earth Shock.
Sure.
Please. He's going
course, yeah.
Diffusal. That might be okay. He's now got the
Might.
Blade of Alacrity, but he might die here. Ursa, you're going to be forced to enrage if you're not too careful. He's lucky nobody else is here. Oh, one right click. Where's your enrage? Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, I'm following this tree and protector
Mad Snail.
chasing. He's been chasing the Pudge
The $10
for
million
last...
is mine. I'll fight the sale. I don't care.
That was a chase that lasted about 45 seconds, by the way. They started all the way at the tier 2 bottom. They ran to the Twin Gate, TP'd together top, and continued. That was very impressive.
So I know it happened earlier, but I know that this is usually me and Lacoste's go-to. If you're down 1,000 net worth per minute at a certain point, when it's time to call it, it's time to call it. And this 8th Remnant hits, they've got the Meteor Hammer. The fact that that lands and they've still got the Dissimulate is disgusting. Another
Bicop,
kill
please
there.
look at the monkey. Bicop, look at the Monkey King. He was just next to the Radiant Fountain for the vibes
Yeah.
and to place an Observer Word.
He's trying to get couriers. This is the Zinq move. Except it usually happens at minute 0.
Yeah. I mean,
Dante.
in reality, Qatar hasn't really started playing. It feels like they're still stuck at minute 0 at this point.
Meteor Hammer, Rafiki, Enrage, Dismember. Boundless Strike is there to stop it. And this is an Illusion Rune pop by Easy Legacy, meaning he's able to escape as well. They have Overgrowth. They have all the tools necessary to just push down mid. They really do. Win probability is 100% now, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Meteor Hammer, Bushwhack doesn't land, so Meteor Hammer won't get stopped in there. They glyph. They'll get one more glyph if they take the mid-setter racks, or if they take the melee racks, but... Oh, man.
If?
Well, I'm saying you might leave the melee rack so they don't glyph again and just go through to the tier 4s.
Oh, okay, I see how that works. Oh, okay, Tornado.
Boundless Strike, Hook doesn't hit, Dead Invoker. The look at the Pudge who walks into this Wukong's for a second.
First
It will
fall.
take the mid-range racks and the melee racks.
We still have a Black Hole. Meat Hook does get simulated. I mean, 33-5.
Astral
minute
Step,
18.
8th Remnant, and Dante is going to roll up, but he's still dead to the Eidolons. Dismember doesn't do any damage. Mad Snail is dead. 3 heroes gone. Godlike for Easy Legacy. They've got the Meteor Hammer that will hit onto the bottom tier 3. EMP? Yeah, for what? All right. It's easy. It's Savior Easy Legacy who ends up losing a good amount of mana, but it doesn't matter. Ursa's pushing a tier 1, though. Top.
That's what they needed. It's the combat mechanic they're going for. Base race. You gotta kill the first tier 1 of the map, and then you go for their ancient. That's the way to go, Bicop.
We've got a view on Ursa. Thank you, guys. Thank you, production. Kisses in the chat.
There is a diffusal blade completed now on Rafiki.
This is the item.
Yeah.
This. Is he past level 10 yet? No.
The Pangolier does not get a diffusal. He's going still for the Aghanims.
Well, he's going for nothing. Meteor
Yeah.
Hammer on 3, maybe? No, they got the Dismember. They stopped the Meteor Hammer. Mad Snail is dead. Oh, Black Hole! They get into the bounce. No! Oh, no! They tried. Oh, my God. They're camping them. We're not even at 20 minutes. Meteor Hammers to take the rest of the base. This is insane. Well, that's going to be it. 20-minute game. Lebanon beat the side of Qatar. in one of the quicker matches we have seen this qualifier.
Radiant's injury is dire victory.
Great game from Lebanon, which, you know what this means, because it puts them now in a 2-0 position, actually ahead of Jordan and Iran themselves. So now we're looking forward for tomorrow when they will be facing none other than Syria. At this moment in time, these two teams look like the favorites. So that's going to be our little grand final. Hopefully it's going to be a bit closer than the one we had yesterday in Central Africa. And at this point, I would like to ask you who your MVP was, but I think that would be a fairly absurd question.
It's absurd, but also it's Monkey King. It's Monkey King because, well, I don't even know if he was the most pizzazz, but
he didn't
I will
die.
say, yeah. But everybody, like, Void Spirit had a great game. He wasn't scared. The Enigma did well. Like, let's take a look at the highlights. Let's take a look. We'll get a quick little discussion on it right here, because this is First Blood with the Primal Spring and the Eidolon damage. They just, yeah, there's no way to stop this. They just run at them. They're like, this is literally run at you Dota. This is what we used to call CIS Dota, or Divide Dota.
Yeah. I mean, this was the best moment of Qatar's game when Madnail and Dante managed to get
They have 3 more kills the rest of the game.
Yeah. So it all went downhill from here.
And one of them is Weaver getting caught out, not using time-lapse again. So, just to say, and this one is one of them too. Just saying.
It's tragic, right? Because Qatar, they did their best, and I like that they played it with style, and they were very, very nice and fair play. We saw at the end, even wishing good luck to Lebanon for later on in the tournament. But it was a rough way for them to get out of today, which is only day 1, right? They will have plenty more games to play for tomorrow. Hopefully, it was just a bit of a bad day and a bit of a mismatch. Obviously, they were a bit outplayed by and outskilled, you could probably even argue, by Lebanon. But there's still a few more teams they could face to get a bit of at least one victory under their belt to, you know, pump up the country's name. Because I think this is one of the very first times when we see Qatar on the international stage as a nation. So you don't want to be going out 0-4.
Yeah, definitely. You're trying to at least find something that works, but it's very tough with where we stand at the moment, truthfully, with the way this team has looked. But there's always growth to be had, you know, no loss. One of the things that I used to quote a lot, and I still think about it in my head, is UFC, mixed martial artists, they always talk about losses are their biggest learning experience. And I think that is very true in Dota as well. What can you learn from these highlights? What can you learn from here that will potentially give you the ability to be better next time, right? Yeah,
you got to learn from every experience you have. And let's just say that there will be plenty of learning to be done. As at the same time, right, we say Qatar didn't necessarily show up to play in this game, but Lebanon was phenomenal. Top to bottom, didn't make too many mistakes, almost no mistakes, and they played their heroes to perfection. They played a lot of the meta heroes as well, and if tomorrow they get their hands on more of the Weaver, the Enigma, even the Monkey King, right, they could really be a thorn in the side of Syria.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be great because I will say that Lebanon match, I think you already mentioned this, the Lebanon-Syria match is the last game of the day. That's correct. And it could be deciding. That being said, Syria beats Iran, and I think that they're 3-0. They're decided. And Lebanon, if they beat Jordan, they would be decided as well. So that could just be it. And I believe we do have an interview coming up with Russell from Lebanon, but I'm not sure if that's ready just yet. We'll see. But it should be interesting to see as we get a little bit more in-depth stats here. Pre-20-minute victory. Wow. Really
look at the
great.
tower damage. Look at the tower damage.
24. It was that one right click from Ursa. Actually, it couldn't have been.
That is, I think, a Hoodwink?
Right click from Hoodwink? Yeah, that's the only thing.
So.
I think it can be.
Maybe Pangolier with a single right click as well, because his melee doesn't have that much base damage. If, the one time when they pushed Weaver and Trient after getting the kills, they got close to the tower and just right clicked it once, maybe? That is a phenomenal statistic, I'll be honest. I'm glad we have added this damage to towers, because 24 kind of sounds worse than 0.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can make the excuse that we never had a chance to push out. We got 0 damage, but now 24 is just like, oh, okay. Oops. Maybe we accidentally got a right click on the tower. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad we see the Lebanon flag of BCOP, because me and Black had a hell of a conversation this morning on the South region. And we were talking about the beautiful flags that the Asian qualifiers have. The Asian countries have some great qualifiers some great flags in this qualifier that I think Europe could definitely learn a thing or two from. Lebanon, maybe not as much as I like the Nepal one from the other region, but still pretty nice, right? Have like a beautiful green tree in the middle of it. But what are your thoughts? Are you a flag fanatic?
I do like the Nepalese flag. It's a cool one. It's a different one for sure. But we do have our interview ready with Russell, so let's get on into it and talk to him.
Let's see.
Hey, man. How's everything doing, Russell? You got a really quick win. Is that the fastest win you've ever had?
In an official game, yeah, maybe.
You guys were just going from the get-go. Like, you guys didn't stop. 19 minutes is real fast Dota. What did you guys see in that game or in that draft that made you think that you could go so quickly? Is it something that had to do with the Qatar team in general or the draft that you saw?
It's a bit hard to say in international Dota because you don't really know all the players, but we realized that we probably outpassed them a bit and that we could play more aggressively, I would say.
Right. So it was a quick game for sure. Is there anything that between the couple games you've had so far, what's the biggest takeaway you have?
That Iran were really good. They played really well, and I think they're gonna be a strong contender for second because we're gonna get first for sure. But
nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Good to see here you being so confident. Of course, congratulations for your victory. And we don't want to take that much more of your time. We want to let you go celebrate and prepare for tomorrow's games. But before that, could you please look into the camera and give us a few words for your fans and everybody supporting you from Lebanon?
In Arabic?
Of course.
Sure.
ميرسي للكل اللي عم يحضرنا وإن شاء الله we'll make you all proud. A little bit of English at the end.
A little bit of the English and Arabic. I love to see it. You guys look great. I want to congratulate you again with the win. Hopefully we get to see you in Chengdu, and we'll hopefully talk to you again tomorrow after another victory.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you too. Thank you.
Have a good one. Yeah, a really solid matchup there and a really good game overall from the side of Lebanon. And right now, I will say the update is Syria have a little bit of a lead over Iran. So yes. That is what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah, and of course,
it's very close.
We heard the confidence from Lebanon themselves as well. They said they are going to be first, and they're backing Iran in that second place race. But Syria might have a say into that. So it's glad to see that this region is actually has quite a few teams battling for those slots, and it's not just one-sided or two-sided as we've had previously this week, BCOP. But thanks. It was great to be here with you today and with Black in the morning. Well, morning for me. And I think that's going to be the end for today, right? You can say your final words, BCOP.
Yeah, we're looking at potential tiebreakers for tomorrow. The last day of the Asia qualifiers are tomorrow. So join us back here tomorrow when we do have those final matchups. We'll see you then.